trouble, it's time to give them hell out there. Welcome to the Trenchfoot Society.
The guns fall quiet, if only for a moment, not in victory, not in peace, but in burial. Tonight we mark the passing of a name long etched into the annals of war, a standard carried through countless battles, through triumph and failure alike. Now lowered in the mud with the rest of the fallen, GoonHammer is laid to rest. But in this war, nothing truly dies. From the ashes, from the wreckage, from the smoldering remains of what was, something new takes form. Not reborn the same, but reforged, sharper, harsher, ready for the battle still to come. Tabletop Battles rises, and at the edge of the grave, standing between what was and what comes next, Norman and Ryan from Tabletop Battles. So bow your heads, if only briefly, then look up, because you're back in the trenches, and even the dead don't stay buried for long.
Norman, Ryan, you guys want to tell us what you guys been up to?
Yeah, sure. Adepticon's over, thankfully. I had painted up a lot of Great Hunger, basically every option I could have ever wanted for the narrative, because I had no idea what I wanted to take until I was there.
Nice.
Especially since I didn't know if the new rules were going to be legal. It took
because they released them like 2 or 3 days before Adepticon, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, so like they released in heavy quotes, right? Like 2 weeks before in the Discord, like for Creature Caster.
Yeah.
Pinned. So like someone had asked Taylor, like, hey, like, are these out? Or like when are they going to be out on the site? He's like, well, they are out. And I sent a picture of that to Sammy, who was running the event. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if posting in your Discord and pinning it counts as it being out, but Trench Companion just updated. So I can't put old Great Hunger in anymore.
Oh no.
She's like, fuck it, whatever. Who else is going to run Great Hunger? It's just going to be you. You're the only weird pervert who's going to decide to do that. So yeah, I was running a new Great Hunger. So I painted all of that up. I painted up like 15 Thralls. I painted up 2 Corpse Guard. I painted up all the bespoke mercs for the event. I painted up everything. So that was all done. And then after Adepticon, I didn't want to look at Trench Crusade ever again. So I've just been doing a bunch of other random stuff. Like Ryan and I cover Age of Sigmar for hold on, I'm gonna get the name right. Tabletop Battles.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
The new branding. We both cover Age of Sigmar for Tabletop Battles also. And just painting up some random stuff for that. I guess we could talk about it. The data sheets were out yesterday, and I guess this is going out like in a few weeks. The new Ashen stuff came out, the new Rat Ninja dudes. So I just got those. I was building those right up to recording. These models suck to put together, but they look pretty cool.
Oh, those are the ones that finally replaced the rats that looked like they were from 1995.
Stop! You're gonna make Ryan cry. That he loves those stupid fucking guys.
So many. I think I have like 90 of the metal ones.
Yeah, oh my god, you're the metal ones.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't know about Ryan's
the acolytes.
The acolyte.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I love the metal models. I want to make my A case as heavy as possible when I travel anyway.
I'm almost
there's
as
a
bad.
time-
I still have all metal Sisters of Battle.
Oh, holy
Nice.
shit! Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
crazy because those
That's
are
a
like
deep
big.
cut.
Yeah, second edition, 40K.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I was alive yet.
That sucks, dude. I turned to dust as you speak.
Stop. Yeah.
There was a time where Scryer acolytes were like kind of really good in Age of Sigmar.
No,
and
they weren't.
no, they were. Dick. So
Matt,
Ryan here decided he wanted to run an army that was just that. How expensive was the 2,000 point list, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I ended up running. I started with 60 and then had to tone it back because they're bad. And Battle Shock was in the game. So one would die and then the whole unit would die. But yeah, I ended up with 45, and each of them I think were $30 a piece.
Yep.
I didn't buy them. I'm not an oil baron, or a drug dealer.
And these are the old metal ones?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Oh
old
my
metal ones.
god.
Yeah,
There
I had
are
a
2
buddy.
sculpts.
Yes, yeah, knife down and knife up.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, it's all the same, and you have that many of them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're sick as fuck. I love them so much.
Hey, you
Um,
can put them in a sock and kill someone if you need to also.
yeah, that's true. I would never though. They're my
Oh,
children.
yeah, I have the old like Bjorn the Fell-handed, like the metal one. And that's
Oh, fuck
like
yeah.
you actually could kill somebody with like
Absolutely,
in a
those old
sock,
metal
like,
dreads.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
it's
just
almost as
joking
bad
with a
as the
buddy
old
of mine.
Chaos Dreadnought.
Yeah, I was just
Hell
joking with
yeah.
a buddy of mine. I was watching the short and it was somebody painting up one of the old ones like in modern day styles and such. And I was like, good lord. I'm like, you could legitimately kill somebody with this thing.
Yeah, it's a cube made of metal. But yeah, I mean, that's been me. Ryan, what have you been up to?
Yeah, what have I been up to? Time is just a blur and a construct. Um, yeah, I mean, struggling with just the insane amount of rats that continue to infiltrate my house. Um,
But the
like,
good kind.
yeah, yeah, they're mostly plastic and I guess pewter as well. Um, and then yeah, other than that, doing stuff for the StarCraft miniatures game.
Oh,
That's
nice.
been really fun too. Yeah, especially as a huge StarCraft sweat for a long time.
Is the game fun? Like
The
I've
game-
always seen the
fucking
It
models.
is. It's
Oh,
a lot
really?
of fun.
It's so
so
good.
good.
Yeah, it's got some really interesting rules for it. I did a little bit of a demo out there.
So nice.
Yeah,
Is it like skirmish, like small, like squads style, or
Yeah, it
Ye-
feels like
It's kind of a mix.
turn 4 of 40K is
Yeah.
like the size of the game. So it's like
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
okay.
when
way of
most of your army is
describing it.
dead.
I
yeah?
wish it had
Um,
base building in it, like the old school StarCraft game.
Yeah,
Oh,
so how they
that'd be funny.
yeah, so how they do that? Because I mean, hypothetically, that would be sick. I think, especially I don't know if any of you guys play AOS, but seeing everyone travel around with like 10 trees to play Sylvaneth looks like a fucking nightmare.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah, so how they do it in the game now, for those that don't know, is during list building, you have your minerals like you do in the game and your gas, and you use gas to put kind of cards in your army list, and the cards usually reflect things that your buildings do. Um, and the cards also affect what units you can take in your army. So like if you want to take more Marines, you would have to have more barracks cards, stuff like that. So that's kind of how they've implemented at least a little bit of the base building mechanics in the game, which I think are really, really sick. Without having to, bring around 3 hives and a roach warren and 2 Evo chambers.
Yeah, that'd
and-
be pretty hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was gonna say it'd be insane because just imagine like you'd have to carry terrain with you and how big the board would have to be if you like started actually putting terrain down. Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah, no,
interesting, though.
when we spoke to Yarrick, the CEO of Archon, I think
Yeah.
he's the lead designer at least.
Yeah, he's the big
Is he a
King of
commissar?
He's not. Spelled with a J. But
But his name actually is Yarrick. That's not like
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's great.
This is like not the first time I've gotten that question. but yeah, when we spoke to him, he said it was like it's supposed to be those skirmishes that happen in the middle of the map, right? It's not
Okay,
going
yeah.
from one base to the other person's base. It's like those like micro skirmishes when you slam your force into your
okay.
opponent's force.
Yeah, well,
Um,
that was the big thing I liked about it was because I only played a quick kind of demo, but like because it's kind of a mix to me. That's why I like the 4th round of 40K, where it really feels like that mixture of a skirmish game and 40K because you have that alternation where I go, you go, I go, you go, but it's also like the way that they made movement so much faster where it's like if it's a big unit, they have like a 2-number movement where like if you've got a big group of like 12 dudes, then it's like you can move one guy this far and then just move everybody else. And as long as they're all touching him, you can move that far. So you can do some really cool leapfrog stuff. And there's a lot of cool rules. I was worried. I was like, it's just going to be another big complicated game. And I played one demo game and I looked at my buddy. I'm like, I'm about to spend a bunch of money.
Yeah, no, we had our conversation with Yark was like kind of business oriented. I guess we could talk about it because they did on the stream, even though they haven't answered our emails.
Yes.
But we're gonna be helping them with organized play, like we have been for Trench Crusade.
Nice.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh yeah.
We're super stoked. But yeah, we got out of that meeting because it was at the Archon booth. It was before the floor opened, and Ryan and I collectively spent, I think, $1,000 on StarCraft.
Oh yeah, easily. We dropped a band on stuff. I had like an entire checked bag, not even a carry-on, a checked bag, just full of Zerg and Protoss.
Yeah, my buddy and I that I went with, he was real big into the computer game, and he was trying real hard not to buy it the whole time we were there. And I was like, I was more of a Command and Conquer guy. I'm like, I'm not that interested. And then eventually I was, messing with him, trying to make him buy it. I was like, oh, let's go do a demo game. And he's like, no, I don't need more reason. And I was like, let's just do it. And then we did it.
Just one game, man.
Yeah,
Just do
so we
one
went
game.
and did it, and we
Just
didn't even
buy
we
one
didn't
model, man.
yeah, we didn't even get like a full demo in. Like we jumped in, like there was 2 other guys doing the demo, and we kind of watched, and then they had to leave, so we just jumped in to finish it off. And after it was done, I looked at him, and he was like, "You don't need it, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I really want it now." But I was strong. I was like, "Look, I'm already going to be paying $120 to get all the stuff back," and I was like, "I'm trying to get," because I bought a bunch of stuff for our local group. And brought it home. I was like, my bag's already going to be, packed full. I'm like, and I'm pretty certain I'll easily be able to buy this stuff. It's not going to be like con exclusive or anything.
And it was much appreciated.
Yeah. I did have quite a few people that were very happy when I got back.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
All right, Mike, what have you been up to this month?
Well, I definitely agree with our new friends here. Is very much after Adepticon. I spent a lot of time this year doing Trench Crusade stuff, and I'm having a real hard time. I've got one last guy in my list for our campaign. I've got a Butcher Knight that needs to be finished painting up, and I'm having a really hard time actually sitting down and doing it because I've done a lot of painting of my Great Hunger stuff in the last couple of weeks, getting ready for and at Adepticon. So he's base coded.
You do realize it never ends.
I know this, but I'll
Never
eventually
fucking ends.
I'll eventually get him painted. Heck, I'm the guy that 3D prints for all of us. I'm the one with the worst pile of shame over here. But not to mention, I've got a handful of other cool ones from some of the other cool creators we've been talking to recently. I bought a bunch of stuff from War Games Crew for some cool models. They I don't know if you guys saw it. I can't remember the name of it, but they made like a hard metal rocker. It's this like pig lord dude, and their original sculpt, he's got like a big sword held in the air, and his like guts are hanging out. I'm like, oh, he'd be great for Great Hunger. And then when they released it, which I think was on April 1st, they made like a April Fool's Day post of him too, where they made a second one where he's got a guitar axe. And I'm like, I'm like, awesome. And I bought it. I bought that and the original one because I'm like, I want the guitar because I'm like, if I ever do actually make a musician, the reason I've never taken the musical instrument before is I'm like, why would I put it on one of my elites and take a hand away? Like the elites are the only ones that can take a gun. But I was like, well, if I ever do, I'm going to use this mini because he's got a friggin', hard metal axe guitar. And it was hilarious.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
rules.
sick.
Yeah, so I've got him printed out. He's sitting on the shelf behind me, but I've yet to glue him together. I've been busy with 1,000 other things recently, and life's just been crazy ever since getting back. And like you said, it's like so much happens at Adepticon. Like I didn't get to swing over and see you guys when I was there, and I wanted to. I barely got to go to the official Trench Crusade stuff. Aside from the booth, the official booth, I went back to that thing. Oh my God, a dozen times because, somebody in our group or somebody in the Discord be like, oh my God, can you go get me one of these busts? Or can you go get me one of these? My favorite was like 2 days into Adepticon, I'm getting people like, can you go get me one of the books? No, those were sold out within 2 hours. I told people, I was like, I was standing in line to get into the vendor hall, the morning of. And I got there like an hour and a half early, was, probably the 20th or 30th person in line to get into the vendor hall. messaging people. I'm like, the doors open in like an hour. Like, let me know if you want anything. And, and then I don't know if you guys were there when the doors opened. Nobody paid attention to the line. As soon as the doors opened, everybody just piled in. And I was like, oh, that's how we're playing. I just started linebackering my way through, just
Oh yeah.
elbowing people out of the way. I got up there. I was just at the shelf, just grabbing like handfuls of everything. And like, I don't care. I'm freaking grabbing this and buying it.
Wow, so it was like in Willy Wonka when they like opened the candy store and like all the kids are like rushing in and trying to like buy the chocolate.
It was literally that's what it was like. Except it was a bunch of sweaty grown men. But yeah, I managed to grab a bunch of that. So I was actually just joking before we started recording because it's been mentioned in multiple other my 40K stuff. I run Black Templars. The same Land Raider is still sitting on my desk, having not been done anything to it yet for, I think, now the third month in a row.
That's because Trench Crusade is more important to her.
It has been recently, but I really would like to do some more of my 40K stuff. Sadly, most of that I end up getting on TTS because then I don't have to try to finish building a Black Templar army. But yeah, mostly it's been just getting all of my stuff ready for Adepticon. And then after coming back, we've been getting our stuff together for the campaign that Johnny set up for us. And luckily, all my stuff was pretty much already done, so I haven't had to really do anything to build for the campaign. I've been making some terrain and some other secret projects for Johnny for that. So that's been keeping me busy. But you'll all probably see some pictures of that stuff once our campaign gets a little further. How about you, Eric? What you been up to?
Well, we did just start our campaign, and I did not go to Adepticon, so I'm not sick of Trench Crusade. I'm all about it still.
Sick of is a hard. That's not what I would say. A little worn out on, maybe.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I've been looking at the 11th, previews, and I'm getting excited. So I understand. I'm bouncing between stuff. But I've been working on the combat biologists, rounding out my roster. Pretty happy with my House of Wisdom, where that landed. I got a new 3D printer, so I've been trying to go through that. My old one, like the screen, like I was like, there was like resin stuck to the screen or something, so I was trying to clean that off, and then I like scratched the screen, like in the process of trying to clean it. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like looking to see how much, a new screen was. And I was like, well, I could get a new printer for only $100 more.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
He sent me a couple questions. Like, how do you deal with this? I'm like, I just use a razor blade. And if that doesn't work, I'll just buy another one.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, I could get a new printer for $100 more, but I could get this other printer for $100 more than that. And then, so that's how I ended up with a new printer.
The infinite 3D printer glitch. Yeah.
Exactly.
Go big or go home.
I definitely wasn't helping by like, this is the printer I have, and I can just give you my profile.
You were definitely encouraging some bad habits there. I was like,
me and my buddy.
Like, you're right. I was like, it's like that tweet that's like, it's just two dumb bitches telling each other exactly. Like, I was like, yeah, you're right, man. Let's just go bigger.
That's like he was messaging me like, I really shouldn't just buy another one, should I? And I was over there like, yes, do it.
Yeah, so I just ended up getting a new one. And I've been messing with the settings on that and just trying some test prints. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's a way bigger build plate. I'm like, oh yeah, and then of course I'm at the point now where I have most of the stuff printed. I don't need to print more stuff, but I'm just looking for more excuses to print stuff.
Oh God, I can send you all kinds of stuff then.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I got loads of crap that I can hand you to freaking print. Do you have an FDM printer? I'm gonna start sending you some of the terrain that Johnny's making me.
No, man, I just don't have room for two. I have room for one. I do not have room for two.
I got 4 printers. I got 4 working printers.
Ugh. I could not. I hate my one poison goo machine that lives in my house. I fucking could not imagine anymore.
That is such a good name for it because I'm like, man, there's just toxic resin all around me, and I'm just like, making peace with it. Like,
yeah, I do get to cheat a tiny bit is I don't have a wife or kids or anything, so I have the spare bed or the spare bathroom is my cancer room. And it's
Nice.
completely taken over with the 3D printing or with the resin printing stuff. And on the rare occasions that I do need to use it, it takes me a day and a half to, detoxify and decontaminate the whole room because there's like hoses and bottles of IPA and such in the bathtub and all things. It's all terrible in there. Like I had a buddy come over and looked at it, and I think Johnny, I think you were the one looked in there like fucking Walter White
Yeah, it
up in
looks like
here.
it's straight out of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I mean, my neighbors have to be thinking I'm cooking meth because I keep it in like my like a little closet on my porch, and I'm just going out there like at 3 a.m. with like a fucking respirator on and gloves, like in my fucking like night underwear, and just like switching stuff out.
Yeah, the things we do for our hobbies.
So with me, I've just been working on setting up our campaign that we're going through right now, and just organizing that, getting all the scenarios ready, and posting all the reports, getting some prizes and some swag together for everybody. And in the spare time that I have, I did make another trench section for my trench board.
No more
But
bricks
other than
to
that,
paint.
it's just been, yeah, it's just been campaign focused.
And the campaign has been crazy popular. We have like 20. We had like 20 people.
Yeah. So what
think.
I thought was going to be like 6, 8 people ended up being like 22. And over the course of like leading up to the first week, due to like a scheduling conflict, some people had to back out, and I think we're down to like 18, which is still
I was
a
gonna say
really
our
large number.
Yeah,
Still way more than I expected.
Yeah, our first campaign that we ran last year around this time, I think we had 8 to start with, maybe 10. We didn't have half of this number.
Yeah, like we ended it with like 5 or 6.
Yeah, so like this time it's going to be crazy. Not to mention, there's a handful of people that the first game of the campaign was their first game of Trench Crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah, people wanted to just go balls deep, and I was surprised. Like
Like our
like
our local
people.
Discord has been kind of like crickets. And then as soon as I started posting about the campaign, it just like jumped off, and it's just like chatter going back and
realize,
forth.
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
realize we had that many people that were actually there. I was like, I knew we had people join, but I was like, yeah, it's like any Discord server where, a tenth of the people that are joined actually respond. And apparently there was quite a few people in there that really did want to, play and go do stuff. So that's been a lot of fun.
All right, so moving on, you guys want to introduce yourselves, Norman and Ryan, and let's kind of jump into it.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Norman, or Mild Norman is my tag in various internet locations. Mostly known for my work at Tabletop Battles, or GoonHammer, as it used to be known. Rip and Piss.
Formerly GoonHammer.
Yeah,
I can't believe
That-
you would dead name like that.
I fucking hate that guy. I hate GoonHammer. I'm so glad I could say the normal cool name now, Tabletop Battles.
So I can't refer to you guys as Gooners anymore then?
Thank God, no.
I mean, you can. I just won't write on our website about it. At least that you know about.
Yeah, our secret Tabletop Battles After Dark is going to stay GoonHammer. And then,
That's the one on
yeah,
the OnlyFans.
exactly. That's where you get the uncensored Fire Slayer picture from Age of
Oh
Sigmar.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
for those listeners, it's onlyfans.com/.
We're making our own site, Only Dice.
Hell yeah! Finally, I can see those ones pics. But yeah, I cover 40K, AOS, Trench Crusade, StarCraft, kind of a little bit of everything. But started out mostly covering narrative content, and then I started branching into competitive content. Mostly made a name for myself in 40K as like the Nights guy. I love my big robotic sons. And then just from there, it's spiraled, right? And then Trench Crusade came out. I was like, this game's sick as fuck. I wanna make sure we cover it. It's going to be big.
Yeah, it's
And
really blown up quick too.
it's wild how quickly it just ballooned. And like, good for them. I'm really happy for it, right? Like, I think the space has been waiting for a game like that for a while.
Oh yeah.
Like, you still have people who are like big Mordheim heads, and you have Necro people and whatever, and they're generally like smaller communities, and they're generally insular, and they generally don't grow, right? They only shrink,
Yeah.
which is a problem. Trench Crusade, I think, filled a gap for a lot of folks as a low model count war game with a narrative focus, while having tight and like concise rules with a banger aesthetic and a like, not for nothing, I think they got some really good early press, where there's the Games Workshop like, you aren't welcome message, for chuds that went out. And then
Yeah.
a lot of them flocked to Trench Crusade because of like the Christian iconography. And then like, props to the Trench Crusade team. They were immediately like, we don't want you guys either. So, that gave them, I think, their first like week of fame. And then the Kickstarter blew up, like they did a bunch there. It just, it's been kind of banger after banger since that. But yeah, I mean, background wise, I mean, my educational background's in game design. Games have always been a thing that I've loved, but I only really got into war games the last like 5-6 years. And yeah, now we do organized play competitive stuff for Factory Fortress, not as like a job, but we're helping them out.
Yeah, that's
No.
Yeah.
cool.
No, I first found you guys because I had gotten back in during the pandemic, playing 40K, and then we kind of migrated to Necromunda. And I know you guys covered Necromunda extensively.
Yeah, classic Necromunda. Yeah, as my buddy Dan Boyd, who doesn't write so much anymore. He mostly does Blood Bowl now, I think. And like, Necromunda's kind of done. Like, there hasn't been a real release since, I think, Underhive. We still have a bunch of folks who love it, play it. It's just hasn't been active, unfortunately.
I mean, after Underhive, they did, we had Ash Waste come out, and then you have, Hive Secundus.
So Hive Secundus is what I meant. Sorry, not Underhive. Hive Secundus is what I meant. The now strange Gene Stealer one.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got confused between the one thing that said Hive and the other thing that also says Hive? That's crazy.
I
How
mean,
could you?
in their defense, it is
Crazy,
Secundus. It is
bro.
the second one. I mean, I should have been able to figure that one out.
What are you, new here?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. We our local scene, we do have a small Necromunda group, but it's been kind of growing a little. I mean, I'm supposed to be in it, but I've been so busy with the Trench Crusade side of things that I haven't put enough time into that. I've got some enforcers that I need to finish building, and then obviously paint. And it probably helped to learn the game more. I think I did I ran through one game that Johnny did for me.
Nice.
Yeah, I've actually followed GoonHammer from the 40K scene. I've always loved you guys' articles.
You mean Tabletop Battles?
Excuse me, Tabletop
This
Battles.
guy.
Did not
This
mean
guy.
did not mean to detonate, but it was
Crazy debt.
yeah, it was yeah, I really always liked you guys' approach. Obviously anybody could read the art. It wasn't like it was like competitive and actually you guys had a creative side too. You guys had covered like all bases of the hobby, and it wasn't like super sweaty. It was like any normal person could read it. It was very accessible. I think if somebody was like trying to familiarize themselves with the hobby, that's probably one of the places I would point them.
I've always said, when like talking to other people about, again, pitching, I guess, folks on the website, I've always said we're the best overall website, right? Like, there are definitely better resources for painting where you can find amazing like paint tutorials, do some crazy stuff that we don't really cover. And there are probably more competitive minded folks out there for various games, including like 40K, like Art of War is out there for 40K, and we're close with Art of War guys, and they write stuff for us sometimes. But they definitely are like competitive's their thing. But if you, like you said, like if you want to learn like a comprehensive look at the entirety of like wargaming as a hobby, you can find something for it on GoonHammer, or Tabletop Battles. I don't know. The old website's still up. I can still call it GoonHammer for a little while.
Yeah, like, making fun of
But,
us for dead naming. Come on.
Yeah, but I own it, so like I'm allowed. But yeah, no, it's we've always kind of whenever like Ryan and I are talking about like an article or like an upcoming resource or something like that, it's like the things that we always want to be doing, less so than like active reviews. Active reviews get a bunch of clicks, they're successful, it's good content, and we're excited to write them. It's new content. But the things that like are more valuable articles to us are things that if you Google like how to paint black rail, like how do I do this? Like I'm new to the hobby, I don't know what I'm doing, or I just want inspiration, right? We can come up and we'll have a result, and it's modular in such a way that you can scroll to the part that you need. Like I'm really struggling with how the hell am I supposed to do like gross armor. If I scroll through the how to paint black rail stuff, you don't need to read my entire screed on like weird skin and wings and whatever. You go to the armor section, see what you need, and go away. It's just like it's resources, right, for hobbyists. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I hate that clickbait shit.
I'm very happy we don't do it.
Yeah, it's good that you don't, and that makes the articles much more readable. And I think, I think it feels something that a lot of people I think ask for, like maybe not directly but indirectly. Like many people are like, "How do I get started with Trench Crusade?" Even though I just tell people like, "Bro, the rules are like on the website. Go read the rules." Like, but some people I think just need a little more direction. I think, and so like so a resource like that is great. And I'm really glad you guys are covering Trench Crusade, because for a lot of people it's like their first war game. It's their first tabletop game, and something like that helps people like kind of like get into it, and they're like, oh, they can, they see the articles and like, oh, I can do that, and so yeah, that's very helpful.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many people, especially in our group, that Trench Crusade, it's like their first tabletop game. They're like, oh, I've played Monopoly and board games. I'm like, have you ever like done any kind of tabletop? They're like, nah, never done it before. And I was like, well, I guess of anything, I mean, of the few game systems I know, I'm like, at least Trench Crusade is really simple.
Oh, it's a great place to start. It's low model count, and like explaining the game takes 20 seconds before you can start having fun.
Oh yeah,
right?
I love one of my favorites that I do is I'm like, whenever somebody wants to learn, I'm like, all right, if you have 2 dice and you roll 2 dice and you're trying to get a 7 or higher, that's a 50% chance, right? And they're like, yep. I'm like, congratulations, 90% of Trench Crusade.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we did a couple of demos. We got pulled up to the booth during Adepticon, and like there was a really great, amazing resource of like, this is how you properly do demos. This is how you properly get people like interested and having fun as quick as possible. All these things. It's a really fantastic resource that got written out. Ryan and I did not read that because we were doing the tournament. We didn't know we were going to have to do demos.
Yeah, I'm also illiterate.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too, which has been really difficult with the whole writing website thing. But
Yeah, we're getting there though. I've only almost been canceled like 3 times.
Only 3? Yeah, that's pretty impressive. For how
Yeah,
long
I
you
don't
guys
wait
have
a
been
lot.
going.
It's very hard.
there was a
burn
moment
calories.
recently where I had to tell Ryan, you need to change that right fucking now.
Yeah, Norman got a little mad at me. It was worth.
So I actually have a question for you guys. Like a lot of people see narrative play as like less serious and competitive.
Mhm.
So what do you think narrative campaigns do better than say match play?
So, in my opinion, I think so just give some background.
Say
I
are you
run-
gonna do the ice cream thing? Do the ice cream thing.
Oh, you want me to do the ice
Oh,
cream? I
you've
could do
been
the ice
asked
cream
this
thing.
before.
Yeah.
I like when he does the ice cream thing.
He claps his hands with his palms when I do the ice
Yeah,
cream.
and I jump up and down and I click my heels together.
So the comparison I always give is when you're running events or you're like organizing stuff for friends. Organize like competitive or just like matched, right? Play. Wargaming is like ice cream. Match play is I ordered like cookie dough. It's good. It's yummy. It's interesting. It's got like texture to it. It's fine, but it's something I can go to the grocery store and get. Narrative play is like artisanal weirdo flavor, like, oh, you have to go to this spot and they're only open 3 months out of the year and they only do whatever and it's going to cost $20, but it's going to be the best fucking ice cream you've ever had, right? I've called like narrative events, it's luxury wargaming, right? You have a GM who's there to cater your experience to you to make sure you can have get the most out of an experience as you can with advancement, with all these things. Um, I don't think that one is more serious than the other. In fact, I think narrative play is more complicated by like a lot
Yeah,
than
100%.
organized play. Like if
Right
someone
on.
was brand new to Trench Crusade and came to Adepticon and was like, should I do the narrative or should I do the tournament? I'd say do the tournament. The tournament's going to be the same game 4 times in a row and you'll only get better at it. The narrative's going to be curveball after curveball.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. There's a whole lot more to do, especially if they're doing full campaign.
Yeah.
Oh, just
So
you
it's-
wait, Michael. Just you wait.
Plus, like, I think a lot of us who have organized campaigns like that, you can't really help yourself from layering stuff on top. You always want to put your own spin on it. It's like, oh, here's a custom glory item. Oh, here's a custom scenario. Oh, here's a custom whatever. Let's write some rules for this cool table someone in our scene made, right? Which only really works if a player has the background knowledge, right, of the core systems to really engage with it properly. I say only really works. That's not true. It's a lot smoother, right? To introduce those kinds of curveballs. But in terms of systems that do it well, I mean, my background for like these kind of narrative driven games, like I covered a lot of 40K Crusade. I've covered a little bit of Path to Glory for Age of Sigmar. I played some Necromunda, Trench Crusade, obviously, and then like I have a like tabletop RPG like roster. Like I play Lancer every week. Ryan and I are in a game right now called The Heart, which I had never heard of until we started it. It's been really cool. And it's more of like a collaborative storytelling bit, and obviously D&D. For my money, Trench Crusade is like the best balance of like, hey, it's not so much bookkeeping game to game, and it's not so much you got to keep track of, but it does feel like your stuff's advancing and getting there.
Yeah. Love
Um,
playing the campaign for that reason. Have that
Yeah,
have that
also,
advancement feel.
There's a lot less books, unlike Necromunda, where you got to have like
oh my god.
5 fucking
It's-
books open just to run a vehicle.
It's
Yeah,
so
no,
brutal.
it's so tough. Like I was playing when I first played my first game of Necro. A friend of mine was like, "Oh, you should, we're gonna do a short Necromunda campaign. You should join." I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, I don't know anything about this. I want to play Chaos guys. What do I do?" He's like, "Well, you could do a Helot gang, and if you do a Helot gang, you need this book, and also you need the book of whatever gang you want to do, and then also you'll need these whatevers." I'm like, "All right, what about these Corpse Grinder guys? These guys seem evil out of the box." And then the worst thing this friend has ever done to me is like, "Yeah, you could just play that." He should have absolutely not told me to do that because Corpse Grinders are an awful first foray into Necromunda.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah,
You
they're
imagine
definitely,
to blast.
definitely not a good first time gang.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's either, in my experience, it was either feast or famine, right? It was either my opponent had nothing they could do about me, or they had like blast and I was pinned the whole game and then I went home. Like, so yeah, like Necro is like tough in that regard. Like the systems I think between games are really cool, and there's some really great interactions where like your dudes can get kidnapped and then you have to do a rescue mission and there's scenarios for the rescue mission, all that kind of stuff is really cool. But like,
Yeah. Well, that's like for me when I kind of first saw it, like I had heard about Necromunda forever, and then when I first started hanging out and playing with Johnny and them, there's a Necromunda board at Spray Gunner where we play, and Johnny's big into that, and he was telling me about it, and he was like, "Oh, you should try it out and give it." And when I as soon as the first time I played it, 40K was my first tabletop game.
Who's Necromunda board?
It's yours.
Goddamn right it is.
But the first time he showed me like some of the data cards and all this, I'm like, this looks like 40K plus D&D. And he's like, yeah, kind of. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like it'll be a blast.
What's funny is that I feel like the progression is more satisfying than in a game than like D&D. Like the Trench Crusade progression is like more satisfying than the progression in something like D&D. Maybe because I haven't really played that many long campaigns in D&D, but I just feel like it's like after every game, I love rolling on the exploration table I love seeing like what each guy gets. I like seeing, I like outfitting my guys with different things and kind of like building a story with each dude. So
Wait,
I get
you get better with guys in Trench Crusade? I thought you only got wounds and everybody just got worse.
You don't
Yeah,
get
you
wiped
do the
every
crawl
game.
reinforcement step, and then you just start over. Like,
yeah. Well,
That part, I'm very familiar with that part.
Oh, well, we actually do have to make an announcement because Mike actually won a campaign game.
Shut up,
Amazing.
you.
yes, he
So
did. He won his
you-
first one.
So
Congratulations.
proud. So
He
proud.
won
Yeah.
his game 1 of the campaign.
So proud.
Undefeated.
So far. I know. And
Exactly.
then Eric had to
Gotta
go
watch
and ruin
out.
my day by telling me that I was doing the rules wrong, and I essentially cheated against a player that hasn't played for 6 months.
Oh, punching down this guy.
Hey, it was better because originally, that first game, there was like 2 or 3 people that were there that hadn't played their first game of Trench Crusade yet, and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "Johnny, I can't play these guys. I'm gonna have to let them win." But I'm like, "I don't want to lose this campaign again." I'm like, "I did terrible in our last one."
So you should be used to it.
You eat a dick. I'm playing for gold this time.
But
Yeah, play to
we're
win.
all very happy.
My narrative is that I kick your ass. Yeah.
My narrative is that I'm a rot zombie and I don't even think about how bad I'm being. No, I definitely think it's going to be fun, like doing more of the narrative style. Because, like I said, I've done 40K a ton, and I know there's Crusade. I've never done 40K Crusade, but like after our first campaign, I didn't really do too much into the narrative side of it, but definitely this campaign, I want to lean more into that. I mean, last campaign, it was just literally like the first game, my leader was murdered, and then I re-rolled and got him ransomed, and he lost everything, and one of my dudes was infected with ghosts, and I should have reinforced, but I'm such a contrarian that when everybody was like, "You should just reinforce," I'm like, "No, I'm gonna keep playing. It's funnier this way."
Nah, I got all my bets on Ghost Guy.
It
Yeah, there's a lot of suffering there.
it was bad. It was pretty bad.
So I
Wait,
guess
so-
the Go ahead,
sorry,
Eric.
Johnny. So I've got a question. How, like, you guys ran the competitive event at Adepticon, right?
Yep.
How did that? So I'm interested in how that went, and what trends are you seeing in, like, say the American meta versus maybe like we got reports from the Polish meta, like, so maybe what is the U.S. trench like meta, if you want to use that word, look like against other scenes?
Yeah, so I mean, we only ran the one event, and there hasn't been a ton of like competitive events, at least things that have been public, and everything is still so different between events because nothing has been really truly standardized yet. Whether it's missions or terrain layout or terrain or whatever. So
Yeah.
meta is kind of a hard thing to put a pin on. There are definitely things that people complain about really loudly more than other things. Like blast and
Oh yeah.
and blast and and then
Sometimes
like
blast.
Almost
oh,
like
and then
there's a
when you do that
problem with
thing that targets an area and then it does damage in
Mm,
another
yes.
area. Yeah. So, but even and then people complain about shooting or people complain about like anti-tank hammers or whatever, and then our top table at the end was trench ghost, like gas grenade launcher shenanigans, and Saint Methodist double anchorite. I'm gonna run at you and punch you with a church.
Yeah.
And it was sick, and like it came down to like the last round, like the last way they could score points and the thing. So I mean, I think the most common faction that we had was Naval Raiders. I think just the 3d6 to actions or the additional die to
Yeah,
for dashes and stuff
It's just good.
is just good.
Yeah.
But then again, you'll hear people talking about their post game bat rep to their friends or whatever, and they're like, yeah, I couldn't roll a dash even with the additional die.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it sounds more like a skill issue, but
It was
Always.
Saint Meth won the Barbed Wire Brawl, right?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the double church went crazy.
Yeah, that guy was cool too. I mean, all of our attendees were great. too.
Yeah. No, we
That's
we
awesome.
did a postmortem for the event with FFI last week, and one of the big takeaways that they had, because a few of them had like walked around the hall while the tournament was going on and was there for the award ceremony and stuff like that, um, is the vibe was correct, right? Like no one was there like sweating it out. No one was there. Like people were taking it seriously. Absolutely. People were there trying to win, but like no one was like shortchanging their opponent or doing those dick moves in wargaming we were all familiar with. We've all
Yeah, they were all still
Yeah.
having fun.
everyone was having a blast. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of like we had one player who he ended up winning our best sportsman. Like his first round, he matched into someone who had never played Trench Crusade before. Their first game was the first round of that tournament. And
Oh,
he just like
wow.
taught him how to play Trench Crusade. Like that was their game.
Oh wow,
And they both
that's
had fun.
super cool.
Yeah,
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 that's
and they,
awesome.
like, yeah, smiling, laughing, like very patient. It was sick. Like, and then from that game on, like he was able to engage with the community and just like everyone was just patient and like willing to give more than they got, and it lends itself to a good community, right? I think like with a burgeoning competitive community that we're trying to create here, in the US, I think like the most important thing, right, is like no zero tolerance policy for dickheads, right?
I love it.
Like,
Love to hear it.
if someone's gonna be like, oh no, you can't go back and do that thing or whatever, even if it's not like something I can necessarily penalize them for, but it's like, all right, let's keep an eye on that table. If something happens, let's
Yeah.
have a conversation. We're not trying to call anyone out. We're not trying to like, ban people from the event because like, they didn't let someone go back on a rule that happened 2 rounds ago because that's,
That's the game.
beyond the scope of what we're talking about. But at the same time, it's all built, like all these communities are built on hanging out. Like at the end of the day, you're playing war games. It's you hanging out with a stranger for 2
Yeah.
hours.
That's a great
Right.
point. And I like that.
Yeah,
It's social. Like at its core, it's social, and you don't want it to be antisocial or hostile to another
Exactly.
player.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
for me,
Yeah.
it's my stress relief.
Exactly. I mean, for most people, right? It's a vacation. It's like
Yeah.
it's getting away. It's spending some money on just like a thing that doesn't matter, right? That you can compete and like test your skill at, and then you walk away from it, and the ramifications are none. Worst case scenario, you have to figure out how to get home with a bayonet, and you only brought a check bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like one of the biggest things to me why I really want to see more of a competitive or a campaign competitive than just like a 40K competitive. Because personally, I've never done 40K tournaments. I can't stand the like super competitive gameplay of it where everything is ultra super balanced and like here's the terrain's going to be set up this way and it's perfectly mirrored on both sides so we're both equal. I'm like, that's just it's so boring to me. I really don't want Trench Crusade to go that direction. That's why I really want to see more. If it goes competitive, I want to see more like narrative driven competitive campaign type stuff because like I compare it to like I used to play Counter-Strike. It's like I would get on after work and I'd play with, you'd get in the game and it's like, cool, I just got murdered because I'm playing against a kid that plays for 14 hours a day. I'm like, bro, I just
Oh,
want to,
sorry, that was me, by the way.
I'm like, for
Yeah.
me, I'm like Trench Crusade is like, that's the biggest thing I tell people all the time. Like, bro, I'm like, I love it because I can go to my local game store and, get there, dick around with my friends. We'll start playing a game at 7 and I'm out of there and home by 10. I'm like, it doesn't take 8 hours of my day just to set up a game and quickly run through it as best we can. I'm like, I can run out there with one box that has all of my stuff in it. I can have fun and play a game. Yes, I might bitch the entire time, but that's just how I play games. You can ask Johnny or Eric. They've both played me and I'll bitch the entire time, whether I'm winning or losing.
Norman
but
does
like,
the same thing. You're good.
but
Fuck up, right?
But it's like, yeah, I want to go, at the end of the day, it's like, like you said, like I want to go and I want to, roll some dice and have fun, doing this. I don't want to be ultra competitive of, what, who am I fighting? What list is best to fight this exact thing? I'm like, I'm just going to take the guys I have and go play Rule of Cool and just do something fun.
Yeah, I mean, The only place I'd push back on that is like, and like, not to say that like that's not valid, because it fully is, right? Like everyone should try to engage with the games the way they want to and the way they enjoy. Like for me, like I became more invested in this entire hobby as a whole because I started doing 40K tournaments, right? And it wasn't because I want to be the best, whatever. I was playing Death Guard at the time, right? Like I want to be the best Death Guard player. It was, oh, I met some really cool people. What's a good opportunity to hang out with them again? Oh, there's a tournament next week, right? Like I think 99.99% of people who play these games are the same. They're all chill folks who want to roll some dice and hang out. And when you hit that top table, like for my money, as someone who's done a lot of like 40K tournaments and just competitive tournaments overall, the sweatiest and most like unfun game you're gonna have isn't the like 4-0 table that's gonna decide the event. It's the like
2-2.
2-2.
It is 2-2 every
yeah,
time.
the
No,
guy that's
mid-table
on
sweat
edge
it
lords
fucking blows.
that like just want to prove to someone that they are not bad at this and they want to go positive. That's where you're gonna have like, I think, your sweatiest games. And even then, like it's a crapshoot, right? Most of the time, you're gonna get someone who's
So
just there to hang out.
I'm the opposite. Like I used to do the tournaments for 40K, but quit during 6th edition when they were doing the Ard Boys tournaments. And it was just like, who can bring the most bullshit lists? And it got to a point, I'm like, you know what, I'm done. And the 6th edition, I didn't pick it back up until 2020. So a good 10 years or so.
I will say, like, I think the 40K community's gotten a lot better from 8th, like second half of 8th. I think there was like a culture shift that kind of happened, where you got a bunch of new people coming into the hobby, especially 9th with COVID, and a lot of those people are more normal. Also,
Yeah, there was a changing of the guard for sure.
More normal.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that more is doing a lot there.
it's
went
a
more
load
main-
bearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that it definitely went mainstream.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
been
which
great.
isn't
Like,
bad.
it's been really, really great. I love that community to death. Some of my best friends are just from playing folks, you know, at those events. But to go back to like the narrative style like competition, that's all not to say that I don't think that sort of play shouldn't be fostered. Like I fully agree. Like our approach as we expand out what we did at Adepticon, I think, to the wider community, our approach is going to be such that it's going to be modular, right? It's going to be like, hey, here's an 8 scenario pack. Here's 3 layouts you can play with that like are easy to make at home. And like the whole point of the layouts is it's an accessibility thing, right? Every piece of terrain is either 2.5 inches tall or 5 inches tall, because you can go and buy 2.5-inch thick foam board from Home Depot. That's the only reason why, right? So everything is that size.
Wait, you
They're
can?
really basic volumes because that's easy to cut, right? And then the layouts themselves is a thing that you and your buddy can put on the table, and you know it's been tested such that you won't lose the game because of terrain. Because we've all been there, right? Where it's like you set up a table and you start playing, and then like round 2 you realize like, oh, my big guy can't actually get to the left-hand side of this table because like there's not space. And you talk through that.
Sucks.
Or like
Yeah.
having a table where, you know, like there's no line of sight blocking stuff and you don't have any
Exactly.
guns and your enemy has a sniper priest that started 4 inches above everyone. Like
Boy,
that's
that sounds super
not good
specific.
design. I'm sorry. I don't want to call it Johnny. Excuse me.
And how did that make you feel?
Go fuck yourself.
But yeah, you know, it's not like, and so all these things exist such that you could take them all out of the box, run an event with them, or play with your bud with them, and you'll have a like balanced time, and it works, right? It's vanilla ice cream, going back to the ice cream analogy. But let's say you have a bunch of tables that your community has made, and they're beautiful, and they work well, and everyone loves them. You want to play with them? Please, like by all means, run a tournament, use our scenarios, use that. Go for it. Someone's written a whole slew of custom scenarios. Go for it. Like use those. You can use our layouts with them, or you cannot. Like it doesn't matter, right? It's just guidance for new event organizers in the space who don't necessarily know where to start. So they can out of the box have a balanced, fun experience and then focus on the game. Let the game shine for what it is and not have the things that like are usually hurdles get in the way of that. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's I have nothing against competitive. I mean, I want it to be there because obviously, like you said, it's something that I think it needs to be there because I think that a lot of people do enjoy the tournament and highly competitive scene. It's it's not my particular bag. I don't want to necessarily do it, but I would definitely I would be much more interested in a narrative style campaign. And that's where I want that more just because I'm like, I'm not gonna fight it. And again, it also is just from what small bit of that I've had in the tournament scene is probably just really not great because it was, knowing a friend of a friend who was that guy of, oh, the new meta is they just changed the rules for this army and went and spent $2,000 to buy it and have someone paint it for him so that he could play it at the tournament next weekend because this is the new thing that is like winning at 55%. And I was like, that seems boring as sin to play like that.
I mean, yeah, I'm a ride or die Chaos Knights guy at this point. Like, I've played them when their win rate was 45%. I played them when their win rate was 55%, right?
And even then, they were too good, so you'd stop
then I played
playing.
like shitty lists because I refused to play anything that's good. But like just even the sense of like whatever you get into those matchups where you play against whatever the new meta hotness is, and it's like, all right, I'll lose this game, and then I'll match into someone else who also lost their game, right? And then we'll have a normal game, and it'll be fine.
Then we'll actually have fun.
Exactly, and it's not like I'm not having fun because again, it's hangs, right? Like even I'm getting my ass kicked, like I can hang out. I'll laugh through it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I did have that one time where the first time I fought Custodes, I was teaching a guy to play 40K. It was his very first game of 40K. And he's like, oh, why are you like, you seem a little bit upset about that. I'm like, I've run like 30 games with a buddy of mine, and maybe once or twice he's killed a Norn. I'm like, you killed it in turn 1 before it even moved. I'm like, now I see why people just say don't fight this. Skill issue.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I love Coin Flip Simulator. It's fucking sick. I mean, like, whatever. You play around it.
No,
Yeah.
I get. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. Like I joke about it because I
100%.
in 40K I play Tyranids and I play Black Templar, and I don't think. Again, I don't play tournaments, but every time I look at the list, I don't think I've ever seen any of them higher than like 44% win rates. And I'm like, well, it makes me feel better about the fact that I lose a lot of games. It's not that I'm bad, it's the army.
Right. I mean, like, one of the things we try to do at GoonHammer, Tabletop Battles, whatever. I'm just going to say GoonHammer probably. I've been calling it that for fucking 5 years. It's going to be
Tabletop
difficult.
gooning, that's all.
There we go.
Nice.
Finally. When I goon on the table,
Goon battles. There we go. We landed, folks.
well, one of the things we try to do, right, is it's when we write our like hot take articles or like, faction focuses, it's never, this is bad, don't play it. Like we try never ever to write that unless it's like really just like, hey, you guys need to fix this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's generally like, what's the most fun I can squeeze out of this, right? And if a faction is bad, it generally just means that there's a very narrow lane of like what's like cool, right? Like I was having this conversation the other day with someone who was asking me out like some advice on knights for Chaos Knights in 40K, and basically like there's a difference between this is bad, janky, and fun and like I could do some kooky stuff connotation, and there's a difference between that and this is bad, frustrating to put on the table and annoying connotation, right? And I think finding that balance is what our writers try to do, is try to find the thing that's like, okay, this might not be the most optimal thing. This is a way, if you want to play like Assimilation Swarm Tyranids, right? If you really your heart set on it, all right, go get some Pyrovores, go get a Norn Assimilator, go get some Ripper Swarms. These stratagems are probably your best ones. These are the ways that you can go about doing it. Like this is how you juice this thing, right? Are there better options? Yeah, but we try to find a path so everyone who wants to play the way they want to play can be informed to have the most fun going with it, right?
Yeah, see, it sounded like me and you were a lot of the same because, like, in my Tyranid discords and all that, everybody's like, "Oh, don't only run this one detachment. Just take all the monsters and do that." And I'm like, I
Clowns.
specifically don't do that because I'm like, why? I'm like, that's what everybody else is doing. I'm like, I want to try something else. Personally, I'm a fan of Oops All Warriors because it's way funnier.
And that detachment's like
Yo,
cool. Like
Norman and I have been talking about that, and it definitely has gas, and everyone is too cowardly to
It
actually just let
honestly,
it rip.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, it could do amazing as long as you don't run into somebody that's got a whole bunch of tanks. Because
Exactly.
as long as they don't have, if they had like 1 or 2 tanks that were like anything over strength, 10, you could probably do it. But like if they have a whole bunch of stuff, yeah, you're boned. You're not going to do anything.
But like, especially like in the discords and like on Reddit and things like that, and this applies to Trench Crusade, I think, also, and it goes back to that meta question. There are, and I posted this. We put a dev diary out today as of recording, on the 17th, about kind of Adepticon, how it went, whatever. And one of the sections we had there was about the meta, and the game's very young. There's like not enough data, and it's very inconsistent. But the most important thing is most people on the internet who post about what's the best thing, what's meta, what's garbage, what's whatever, don't play these games. Like
yeah.
it's as simple as that.
Like 3 games a year, maybe.
We put out a survey.
Yeah.
We put out a survey like a few years ago for our readership on the website. And it was like how much of your time would you say you spend like talking about Warhammer, right? And it was like we filtered by people who had said like 70% of the week or more or whatever.
Nerds.
And then it's like, well, how many games do you play? And it's like 0 to 1 was like 60% of those people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A year, right? Like, and it's a lot of people, the way they interact with these games, because they can't necessarily organize the games to play them as often as they'd like or ever. The way they interact with it is complaining online. Like that's kind of the world we live in for a whole bunch of stuff. It's not unique to tabletop games. It's not unique to games even. And I always caution people like don't believe everything you're gonna read on like the internet and Reddit on whatever and what's good, what's bad. You won't know what works for you until you play it, until you put it on the table, you see what's up.
Exactly.
And like the familiarity piece is such a huge component, right? Like, I'm gonna keep going back to 40K because what I know, I'm sorry, but like
Happens to the
Scary,
best of us.
Scary in that scene, he's the Dark Eldar guy. He's always played Drukhari. He loves Drukhari. He never doesn't play Drukhari, and he's very fucking good at Warhammer. And he'll win events with Drukhari when they're not good because he's very good at Warhammer, right?
He knows him
And-
inside and out.
Exactly. If I gave him a meta army, I would venture to guess he wouldn't win the event, right? That comfort piece is such a big part of it, and finding rules that you as a player jive with and can express yourself through is such a big part of it that like a lot of meta chasers will fall flat on their faces.
Yep.
Just switching armies willy-nilly because they can't adapt because it's not the way they like to play, right?
It happens at Worlds all the time, or any team's tournament, where people try and get the comp and they're like, oh, well, this is, the best list that has a gajillion bodies to sit on circles, and this one's really good for design, so we need a guy on this one. And this is the best army in the game, so we need a guy on this one. It's like, I'm going to bring a bunch of metal ding-dongs that I know how to move around the table really well because I played 120 games with them. Yeah. So, 100% a thing.
So I got a tournament question here, and it's like, so how would you handle like cheaters? So if like somebody was playing, say, Cabal of Assassins, and they were trying to run all 3 of them with tough.
Tar and Feather or at the stake.
Oh,
that's a shame.
Well, I
Uli,
think it's
run.
There's
Sounds good.
always the element of like, all right, like where's the line between misplaying and cheating, right? Because like I think we've all, I can speak for myself, like I've definitely been in a situation where I'll finish an event, I'll have a good run, and I'll go home and I'll talk to a friend of it, and I'm like, a friend of mine and be like, yeah, and then I moved this character here and I did this thing. He's like, that's not what that does, right? You know, like, oh shit,
I've never done
like,
that. I'm perfect.
yeah. So no, I know you have because you've done it to me, you piece of shit.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Almost like Ravenous with Mother's Call.
I was just about to
it
say.
sounds so familiar.
I was gonna say the worst part is too is my buddy that I was at Adepticon with. He's now going to say that all of the games we played are now null and void.
Nice.
ol'
That's the way to
Don't
do
bring it
it.
up with him.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Your homie's got his trick.
I
But yeah,
did
like-
want to. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, yeah, if I caught someone who was like dice cheating, get the fuck out of my event.
Yeah. Let's say he's a toilet flusher, like the
Yeah.
guy who had the toilet
Yes.
dice.
Yeah, no.
Classic banger.
You eat shit. Get out of here. I'm keeping your money. I don't want you to be here.
Yeah, get him the fuck out.
So leave your weighted dice at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, but
or be better at cheating.
Yeah. I do want to say though that it's funny that you bring up a lot of people that like complain or you're just like are like overly preoccupied with meta don't play is so true because I remember I was just a few weeks ago I was like reading this conversation in a Discord and it was like somebody was like, hey guys, I'm thinking about playing this army, or it's like, hey, what's I'm building a list for this and I heard this was strong. Should I take this? And this other person like started giving them advice, and it was going back and forth for like 15 minutes, and then it turned out neither of them played the game.
So sick.
Yeah, they're just going off of rules.
Yeah, they were just like talking about it like in this completely theoretical space, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta step away from this like meta conversation because it's just like people are just like in their own. It's like a way for them to socialize.
Exactly.
It's weird,
Yeah, it's
yo.
a topic of conversation, right? Like, there is, I hate to say this, there is a self-selection of people who post in Discords about that sort of thing, right? Like, frankly, if I have a question about, hey, how am I going to build a Skaven army? I won't post on Reddit. I'll go to my buddy Ryan, who has won events in Skaven, and be like, how do I do this? You know what I mean?
Don't.
There is a self-selection of like who's spending a ton of time on forums getting really heated about meta stuff, right? And it's gonna be folks who don't have like friends who they're talking about this stuff all the time with, right?
Yeah,
or event
exactly.
organizers, or people who are really passionate about the game, or whatever. There's a few types of people, but a lot of them are going to be people who just that's how they spend their day, right?
Yeah.
Warhammer Facebook is sick.
Oh, it's
If you
fucking
wanna-
crazy.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure there could be a tier list made of like insane stuff that people talk about these war games on different platforms, between Reddit, Discord, whatever. I think Facebook has got to be the top of the.
Facebook's where I've gotten the most death threats. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
It's
I
so
haven't even
tried to
funny.
look.
It's so funny.
I mean, yeah. There was the female custodies thing.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. I run a Trader Guard server. And I just ban people who start that topic.
Fuck yeah.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Yeah, no, like whatever. We put out the article that was like, this is good actually, right? Like, because representation is like a thing that matters, and like, the Facebook post for that was a war zone. It was like stepping into Nam. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's I work on a couple my Tyranid Discord. Usually whenever that comes up, I'm like, hey, remember how we're supposed to talk about our little army men and not cause shitstorms? And they're like, oh, well, but, and I'm like, cool, I don't care which side you're on. If you keep talking on it, you're going to get banned because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally if they're bringing it up, it's not in good faith at this point.
Generally, I'm like, you're either on the one side and want to piss off the other, or you're on the other side and want to piss off the other. I don't want to deal with either of you.
That's fair.
All my Hormagaunts are boys and they all kiss each other. So
There you go.
See,
It's
that's
funny
the fun. That's the fun one being in a Tyranid one, because usually what ends up happening in there is after something like that happens, is one of the other degenerates will come up and they'll post a poll to get everybody off of that, and it's like, which Tyranid has the most kissable lips? And I'm like,
That's
I'm like, I
based,
guess this is
though.
technically better.
That's based, though.
I mean,
It's definitely the Hive Tyrant, right?
it's
No,
Neurolictor. You're fucking
the
idiot.
correct answer was the Neurolictor, actually.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, you're
right,
stupid and
right.
dumb.
I just sold all my Tyranids.
And it's only because there's
Tired of
such a
looking
thing
at
as a Neurothictor.
Hell
who
yeah.
know.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
All right. While we're on the topic, hold up. Doing an aside, I've been asking for this for a while since getting into 4K. So I come in from AOS mostly, and then
Oh, this is gonna suck. This
and then,
is bad.
and then you know I had the very much like ew 40K stinky, everyone's weird. And then met Norman, and I was like, yeah, that's still true. And then started hanging out with more 40K people,
Nice.
and everyone now is very cool, very homey, whatever. But discovered Tau, right, and the Riptide. Why has no one gotten Gargan feet and made a Griptide?
I told you it was gonna suck.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
you could have. You all could have muted him. You all could have muted him.
No, no.
Yo, Tarantino would go crazy.
I was gonna say, I'm like,
Oh
why
my
would you
God.
say something so brave yet so
I'm
controversial?
waiting, dude. I think we say it's like perfect scale. I think maybe I haven't looked.
It's not.
We don't. Hey, look.
We've
I'm
got
just
the
saying,
technology. For
we
the
have
grip
3D
tide.
printing. We can make this happen.
Yes, the Gripper Tide.
So I
I'm
think the
saying it.
real, I think the real burning question, why the name change from GoonHammer?
Yeah, it's
Tabletop
all right.
Battles.
I was
I-
gonna say,
So full disclosure, at the time of this recording, I don't have the official like post in front of me of what we're gonna say. I'm sure there's something prepared by someone on Core, but I can tell you, the perverts won. That's kind of the first thing. Is we
Congratulations,
cannot be
Brian.
Called
Yep, you're welcome. I'm still cleaning up.
So no more
we cannot
gooning
be
your
called
hammer.
fucking jack off hammer.
We're-
That was the first thing. The second thing is the name, right, comes from Something Awful forums. You know, posters there called each other goons, like henchman goon. And the website started as like a hobby blog from the Warhammer thread on Something Awful. That's where the name GoonHammer comes from. But now we cover a lot of games that aren't Warhammer. And we have a lot of folks who come in who have never even heard of Something Awful, right? And it just makes sense, right? And like now we have a logo that's actually like a logo. Like our logo before was just GH, and that kind of sucked. We own Tabletop Battles app already. That's like the app where a lot of people track their games for 40K. And hopefully Trench Crusade soon. I'm working on trying to get support going for that.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just made sense. And when we realized we already own the name, because we've been trying to change the name, I think, for 3 years now. It's just like no one could think of a better name was kind of the problem. And I do think Tabletop Battles is like, it's not as flashy as GoonHammer is. It's not as like,
yeah, it definitely does have like a catch, and it's got to be though an age thing, because I know when you had mentioned it before, I was chatting with Johnny, and I was like, I don't see what's wrong with it. I'm like, this must just
He
be.
literally had to explain it to me because I had no clue.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's brutal.
I was like, I had to tell him, I'm like, bro, I think this is literally just we're too old, because I'm like, I hear GoonHammer and I think goon like a freaking goon from a gang, like you're just
Like get them, boys. Like,
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
what
I'm
we
like-
all aspire to be. Yeah.
yeah, you're exactly, you're a goon. And it was funny because I didn't even go so far back as to pull it as from Something Awful, because I was like, that's even too far. But I was like, yeah, I think that's reason. And I'm like, it's because, the kids these days, gooning is basically just slang for jerking off and looking at porn. And I think that's why. And then
Hey, it's
basically,
deeper than that. It's deeper than that. How dare you? Disrespecting my culture.
But yeah, it was like I said that, and then like right afterwards, you responded, you're like, "Oh yeah, the perverts won." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was 100% correct."
I am curious, like, what line Rob, our CEO, is going to take when we announce it on Monday. I know, like, we announced to brands this week that was like, hey, just so you know, like, we're changing our names. You might want to change your advertising links or whatever, right? And the only thing he put in there was like, and we are finally moving forward with a somehow less embarrassing name.
So it sounds like even he was
Oh
ready
no,
for
yeah,
it.
we're all on the same page there. Like, I mean, like Rob is I do a podcast with Rob every week. It's on like the GoonHammer patron feed, but we just hang out. Like Rob's like a normal guy, and like we're all just like we're here to hang out and play war games and write about stuff we care about. Rob just has business brain. His business disease. So he knows how to like potentially get writers paid about things and like knows what doing business as form is, so he can fill those out. That's the only reason he's CEO. We're actually like table.
He's the adult in the room, is what you're saying.
Exactly. He's my dad. Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth mentioning, like Tabletop Battles is it's a worker owned collective. So like I own as much of the website as Rob does, even though he's CEO. The board is just voted on and it's rotating technically. Like every year we put in votes. If I wanted to vote Rob out, we could do that. I don't see why I would. He's very good at this. But everyone has equal ownership of the site because from its inception, it was always about just like people who care about the games they cover. It's never been about like how do we make money off of doing that. Now it's kind of gotten there only because like we have 2 full-time employees now, which is so cool. The fact that I get to contribute to someone being able to make a living off of editing the dick and fart jokes I put into Age of Sigmar articles is sick.
Oh yeah. One
Um,
day we can all aspire to greatness.
And that's the thing, right? Like I would love to quit my job and just cover Trench Crusade and stuff full time. I mean, like this week was we've been doing a little. The issue is I make a good amount of money now that lets me support having wargaming as a hobby. If I just did GoonHammer full time, I could have the lofty goal of making $20,000 a year.
I know that's the damn problem with this hobby is like I want to just hang out and do my hobby, but boy, is my hobby expensive.
I mean, it's not
Ice
the
chips
thing-
for dinner, skill issue. Yeah.
It's not even just that, like the amount of work we put in, like I think even just the Trench Crusade stuff, like let's just say the organized play Trench Crusade stuff that Ryan and I have been doing. This week alone, every day this week, I've had a business meeting, not like a fun, cool time meeting, a business meeting, regarding Trench Crusade stuff. Like we're talking to some companies about getting terrain sets made. We're talking to some companies about we had our postmortem with Factory Fortress, right? Like, and that was like a PowerPoint presentation at the end of the day. It was with like cool folks and friends, and we were laughing through it and having a good time. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, this is like the business value that we presented at Adepticon, and this is how we can continue providing that value. All of the auspices of like, this is how we provide fun for people at the end of the day. That's what's cool about it. And that's why we do it. But like, all that shit is like prep and whatever. Like, I worked in addition to my real job that pays me money every day. Like I worked 80 hours this week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But I do it because I like it, right? And I'd love to just switch to doing this stuff full time, but just it's not there yet. So as we make changes that get us more money, it's all towards that dream of like being able to provide better experiences for players. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. Like I honestly like whatever.
So
I
So
could
that-
write articles all day.
that being said, is the Barbed Wire Brawl coming back to Adepticon in 2027?
Seems that way. Yeah,
Oh,
Factory
yeah.
Fortress were very happy. And we're already talking about next year. But
Nice.
or then we have
Can we announce the other stuff?
yeah, why not? Fuck it.
I mean, we can always, edit it out if we need to.
No, I'm not a pussy.
I like this guy.
Nah, if I'm gonna say it, fucking let it
say it
rip.
with your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
We're like, guys, we could have stopped that. Nah.
Nah, whatever. Listen,
Wait,
we
I
were,
thought this was live.
I mean, not for nothing. Like this StarCraft thing early today, we have been, like I said, we talked to Yarrick, right? Like at Adepticon, and he's like, "Yeah, make sure you email me." We've been emailing him for 3 weeks, and we haven't gotten a response yet. And we thought that he was like blowing us off, or he wasn't interested in working with us, or whatever. And then he said on the stream today, like, "Oh yeah, we're working with GoonHammer on organized play." Like, okay, if he's allowed to do that, I could talk about events we're looking at doing.
And then I did a Tiger Woods fist bump alone in my office.
So yeah, we have Next event is GoonHammer Open, which I assume that name will change. Actually, I don't know, because GHO is like a good acronym, so we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, that's a good point.
We have GoonHammer Open. Ryan's gonna be running a small event there. I think it's gonna be like 12 players. But we'll be looking to debut some new scenarios there. Like all of our events are testing grounds for more stuff that we're trying to do. So we're looking at making 4 more scenarios. We'll probably try to run 3 of those at a smaller event. Ryan will be hitting that up.
Yep. And maybe some layout tweaks.
Yeah,
Are
we
you
have some small
for-
changes we want to make.
Are these for Trench Crusade or for?
Yeah,
for Trench Crusade. Yep.
Like another Trench Crusade competitive tournament.
Nice.
We'll be doing I think a 2-day at
Yep.
Summer Slaughter, hopefully.
Yes.
Up in Princeton, New Jersey. And that'll be another competitive tournament. And then we're talking right now, and this is very early, but we're talking right now with LVO, Las Vegas Open. They really want Trench Crusade there. I think we're going to be doing a 2-day there.
Nice.
Um,
Along with other TC stuff being there.
Yeah, that's not
Possibly.
like we don't have control over that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so I don't know how
yeah,
much
yeah.
we can talk to it, unfortunately. But like, we'd
But
love to make
possibly.
it a big presence.
Yeah.
I know like there's a potential for LVO where we run a competitive event for 2 days, and then we run Sammy's Blood in the Water event that she ran at Adepticon
Yeah, the
for 2
narrative.
days. But yeah, the narrative event. And do both. Like that'd be really cool. That's super early though. I don't want to commit to anything there, but I think the competitive event is likely.
I know Mike and I have talked in the past about setting up like a Trenchfoot Society event, similar to how I don't know if you're familiar with like Sump City Radio.
Yeah,
the Next
yeah,
Monday
yeah.
podcast. They do that SumpCon.
Mhm.
To do like at some point like a Trench Con, you know,
Hell
and
yeah.
like in the Tampa area at some point.
Oh, that would be
You
cool.
got to start somewhere. So we've talked about it a few times, even though we're not nearly as big as you guys, but we're like, well, we could start it and get local, and then just each
It's
year
all
it'll get
about
bigger and bigger.
in the US, it's all about finding the space, right? In the
Yeah.
UK and Europe, it's really easy because like they have a lot of really great community spaces where you can just like get a children's like a girls' high school and like rent out their gymnasium for a weekend, and then you run a 32 player like grand tournament. Like we do that for GoonHammer Open in the UK all the time. It's free and it's sick. In the US, finding that venue support is
Yeah, you would you
tough.
basically have to find a game shop that's big enough that's willing to sell you time. Like you can't if you were to just try to go to a school or any place, it would just be so expensive to try to rent out a hall for a weekend or something. If they would even do it, they're like, we don't even know what this is. It's not worth it.
Exactly. Like I mean, we do GoonHammer Open every year in Baltimore. We rent out like the ballroom of a hotel, and the
That's where
tickets
I'm
aren't
from.
cheap. Hell yeah. But yeah, like the tickets aren't cheap. Like the narrative's like $100 per person. The tournament I want to say is like 70 because the narrative requires a lot more work on our end. And then we run a bunch of other events, and the tickets aren't cheap, but we lose like $2,000 every GoonHammer Open. Like no profit, just negative $2,000. We do it because we think it's important to have events like that, and we like running them. It's because the venue space is just so expensive, and
Yeah,
you have to
I
get,
was
so you have to
gonna
get
say,
whatever. Yeah,
between venue space and advertising and getting everything out, I can easily see that being a loss. I can imagine it's also a lot of fun and worth the $2,000 to
absolutely.
do it.
Yeah, no, 100%, and that's why we do it. It's because like that was always the dream, right? When they started this stupid hobby website, is like imagine if we could get all of our friends together in one place and we could play an event all weekend, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the same way we've talked about it. I was like, we got to just start it. And even if it's just, I'm like, the first time we run it, it's essentially just going to be a campaign that we run with our friends, and we call it, the TFS Trench Con or whatever we call it. And then,
Right.
It's like, oh, we announce it and be like, we're going to do the same thing next year. And like, yeah, it might be, a couple years before you have somebody that flies in to go play it or comes from out of town or something. But,
And
if you
hopefully it
keep
would
talking
grow
about
year
it.
after year.
Yeah, because I
Exactly.
mean, heck, look at Adepticon. I mean, they had I think I don't know if they've announced the numbers for it, but this was Adepticon 26 or no 22, I think. I don't,
Yeah.
but they've only been doing it for a handful of years essentially, and there was 12 or 13,000 people there.
Yeah,
I mean,
insane numbers, like tripling the city population of Milwaukee.
yeah, for real.
No, 100%. And like
So,
you have to remember, like we've been working with Jervis Johnson at Factory Fortress, guy who invented Blood Bowl. He worked on Fantasy Warhammer, worked on 40K, and
Legend.
invented the concept of a Warhammer tournament, right? And the way he invented that is that he and like 8 buddies rented out. I don't even remember what space he said he'd rented out, but he like rented out some space. He went to the hardware store and bought like a bunch of 6x4 plywood because that's what they had, and that's why Warhammer tables are 6x4. And they got terrain together from a bunch of local communities and just did a weekend, and like they slept in like sleeping bags in the tournament hall was like the thing they did. It's just, yeah, it's all like that's the thing. Everything we do here, like podcasting, playing, and writing shit, like all this, it's all about community, right? It's all about just getting the word out to folks and getting people involved and letting people experience the cool stuff that we do. So yeah, you just gotta like start doing it. That's all it's all about. And it probably won't make money, and it probably will never make you enough money that you can do anything really cool with it, unfortunately. But it is cool, and hopefully at some point it self-sustains itself, and that's the cool thing you can do with that money, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I would is if it can just be self-sustaining. I mean, heck, that's even with this endeavor to get a little too serious. Is I'm like, hey, if we can at least make enough to pay for the software I use for editing, and
Right.
and
Web
all the other
hosting.
stuff, yeah, web hosting. As long as it breaks even and it's not
Yeah.
costing me money, I'm like, I'd be happy. If it starts making money, I'd be ecstatic.
Right.
I'm like, I
Absolutely.
still do it just because it's fun. I may complain a lot, but like I said, I'm really good at complaining. I do it a lot for everything. But I'm like, I complain a lot, but I do this. It's still fun. I have a lot of fun, getting to hang out with people because it's fun getting to hang out with people in game. It's tons of fun getting to hang out with you guys here. I mean, I freaking every other day, I swear Johnny's just like, "Hey, we're gonna hang out with these guys." I'm like, "How the hell did you get them?" He's like, I called them and they said okay."
I have connections.
I have their Discord DM access. Yeah.
That's literally what it boils down. I've joked about it so many times in our own little secret chat where I'm like, "Johnny, are you just like Superman? What are you doing?" He's like, I just talked to him. I just asked him and they said yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda how we got integrated with, FFI was Adepticon, not this year, but last year. I was there playing Age of Sigmar, and, I went over to the Trench Crusade booth in between rounds, and I was, like, wearing my jersey for my club, Tough Crowd, and, just kind of bopping around the booth, and, that's where I met Jamie, who's the CFO?
COO.
COO?
COO.
Well, I don't know, he's got a bunch of he's important or something. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I play Age of Sigmar," and he was like, "Wait, are you the guy that ate the egg?" Which I don't think you guys play AOS or in the community, but yeah, I did a rap video, calling out someone that called me out before a tournament for a grudge match, and I ate an egg on it, and he had
I
wa
gotta see this.
and he had
Oh,
wa
hold on.
oh, I'm so sorry. And
I find it.
Honest Wargamer did a video on it, and Jamie had watched it in the airport right before flying to Adepticon.
Oh my god.
So then like we just started talking, and then he came to Nova, which is where Norman and I are located. So we were there, we went back up with him and then started, talking more about working together on this organized play stuff and all the other shenanigans. But yeah, I mean, it's wargaming. It feels like so big because it's a global thing, but it's also such a small world.
Yeah, it can be kind of crazy with that. Uh, Speaking of which, of just like being at their booth and talking to them, it was hilarious to me when I was over there this year and I had bought some stuff one of the time. I think it was the first or second time. And they're like, "Oh yeah, if you're a huge fan," they're like, "Mike Francina's over there." And I'm like, "Oh really?" I'm like, "I didn't think he was gonna be here." And I just remember looking over. I'm like, "Where?" They're like, "Right there." He's like 10 feet in front of me, and they're pointing, and I'm just assuming, I'm like, "Oh, Mike Francina, he's got to be like at his own booth, like signing autographs, and there's probably a huge line." No, he's literally just standing there in a Trench Crusade shirt, just like, "Hey, how's it going?" Just talking to people. And there's literally people that have no idea who he is, just walking up. They're like, "Do I check out with you?" He's like, "Oh no, go get in line over there." And I'm like,
Dude.
"Oh my God." I literally just walked over, was like, shook his hand, like, "Holy crap, like you're just standing here." He's like, "Yep."
Yeah, you're just a guy.
Mike
He's
is such a wonderful goober. I
Oh,
fucking love that dude.
he's such a sweet guy, and just like and Adepticon, I'm like, you would never know. He just looks like any other crazy freaking gamer dude just hanging out there. It was so
It's
funny.
it's so
I
funny because he's clearly like just a dude who like likes drawing funny, like fucked up dudes, and like
Oh yeah.
kind of has a
100%.
good head for it. Like he was doing the carcass front presentation, and he was talking about like I guess like the heretic priest in the box. He's like, yeah, I had this idea for a guy. Like, what if a guy like never stopped bleeding? And then the room erupts in applause.
Yeah, yeah. Or I loved how he was talking about, he's like, "I'm trying to make the chainsword, but for this," and he came up with the blowtorch lance or whatever. He's like, "It's not there," and everybody else is like, "It's pretty freaking cool though."
Yeah, no, Mike is he's a sweetheart. Loved hanging out with
Yeah.
him at Adepticon.
I love that. I love that he's like not. He just like does. He does like the art that he wants, and then it's like then it's like up to Thomas like to kind of like adapt that to the game. But he's not like he's just making stuff that's cool. He's not. He doesn't have like so much this idea that I have to design this for this type of unit or this type of trooper, like a basic trooper, and then like an
Like a
elite. He
crab with a grenade.
Yeah, he's just like drawing stuff like, and that's why I feel like it's like it makes the designs jump out at you because it's coming from his own like his mind, and it's nice that Thomas is there to like also make good rules for it. But I think it's like a strength of Trench Crusade. They're not. It's just like stuff that he wanted to make, and it looks badass. And so like even your basic trooper looks sick.
Well,
Yeah,
even like
there's a lot
Dumas
of
is like,
love on the team. Yeah.
yeah,
Like talking with Jamie and hanging out with those guys a lot. And like Sammy, who did the narrative, like she was just, a player and a fan of Trench Crusade, and then started doing all this stuff, and now she's works for them. And asking her and Jamie, like, doesn't talking about Trench Crusade, like, don't you burn out, or having all this stuff? And I mean, it's still work, but they still love it because it's a sick space.
yeah. No, I mean like even Dumas, like he puts a lot of passion into like the historical research and like figuring out how to accurately represent stuff and like whatever. And for him, it's also just a passion project of like he loves the fucked up weird world that he's working in, right? And he's like, and the way that you experience that on the tabletop is by playing the mechanics of it. And he's got a really good like grasp. I know, like high praise coming from me. I know, but I'm praising this legendary game designer. No, but he's got like an amazing grasp of just like how to make things feel like emblematic of the things they represent, right? Like blood, like the blood marker system for goetic spells, right? Where it's like based off human suffering. Like you have that moment where you're explaining to a new court player why like you could attack the wretch to make them like torture them and then use that to power your spells, and it clicks. Like that's really just like really evocative game design that I think is really difficult to do, and it's just everywhere with Trench Crusade. Everything just feels correct, right?
Yeah. Now I know myself and Eric, and I think you, Norman, are all observers. But Ryan, are you an observer as well?
Oh yeah. I can't read, so I don't observe much, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I'm in there.
Wait,
Yeah,
so everyone's in here that signed the NDA, right? Is that
I mean, not the listener, but yeah.
okay? Yeah, but we can they don't matter. We can edit it.
We can
Damn.
anything that hasn't been made public by the time this goes public, we can always edit out.
Yeah. Okay. I
Ryan
was just
editing out
interesting.
stuff. Crazy.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I guess we could just like talk about some of the mechanics. I mean, just on our own, like just for
Yeah,
our own
absolutely.
interest. Yeah. So that makes sense now. And I'm sorry, what is your Discord name, Ryan?
Me? Bread.
BRE4D.
BRE4D underscore.
Okay,
Right, the underscore.
Now I got to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if you
oh yeah, I never got to do my introduction. Only Norman did. It's fine. I'm not upset by it. I'm still not thinking about it. An hour later.
We're bad hosts.
No, it's
Dude,
fine,
we're an
it's
hour and a
fine,
half
it's fine. Yeah, no, it's an hour and a half. Jesus.
Don't worry, do it now. I totally won't edit it in later or edit it out completely.
Nope, it's fine. Nope, keep going.
Ryan, do your intro.
No, I did it. Everyone knows who I am.
I was gonna say we all know who he is anyway.
Yeah,
This guy who ate
except,
the egg.
except Eric, apparently.
Yeah, I play AOS sometimes. I threatened Matt Rose that if he was gonna legend the Scry Acolyte, I was gonna send him videos of me shoving acolytes in my ass until he unlegended them.
Nice.
Yeah,
but
no,
luckily they're still in the game.
In the
So-
observer chat, if you the emoji
Oh,
is it-
comp sweat emoji.
comp sweat is Ryan eating the egg.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Now I gotta look.
I'm like really curious now about this egg thing, but also mildly worried about looking it up later.
Ryan, can you find the video? I couldn't find it.
Oh, of course, I got that fang on me.
I know you do, but
If you send it over, you do realize I'm going to put it in the notes, and it.
oh yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I gotta make more. I've been saying it. It's like 2 years now.
Well, I mean, we have a video. Well, hopefully,
Is
come
it
out
the
some point.
ovum? Is it the ovum emoji?
No, it's
Okay.
comp sweat, egg sweat. Hold on,
I think it's
sweat. Scroll through all my
As I was
sweating
like,
emojis.
Is that where the egg joke came from? Like,
No, the egg
That
joke
came from
is,
Tomas.
Yeah, the egg joke was, I think, Adepticon last year. Tomas had brought over like these Finnish chocolate egg things, I guess, that he had handed out to the observers. It was like a thing. It's like a holiday related thing. I don't fucking know. But,
okay,
like,
it's like a
it-
Kinder egg or something.
yeah, but like fucked up because it has a shell. Like they had them this year. You just
Okay.
had to go and ask for them. You had to be in the know and know to ask for them.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing I've ever eaten because it is a hard chocolate egg, but it has like a real eggshell on it, so you have to crack it open. It's like
wow.
eating a hard boiled egg, but it's chocolate inside. It's very weird. Trying to find a group chat so I can send this video of Ryan eating the egg.
I already sent it.
You sent it? Oh, you did. Okay, I thought that was a
Yeah,
DM
I
thing.
said
All right,
I
yeah.
have that thing on me.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah. But Ryan's working on another video right now.
Oh yeah.
technically. Hopefully be out soon. We recorded some footage for from the Barbed Wire Brawl. And Ryan went out and bought a fisheye lens for it. So it's all shot in fisheye lens.
Just so you can do that for the freaking rap video.
I gotta get him doing a kickflip that we could splice in.
Yes, yeah. No, I'm not doing any rapping for the Trench Crusade video. At least not yet. Maybe we'll see. Jamie will have to give me a paycheck for that maybe. But yeah, I did a whole like little montage. I was gonna make like an early 2000s skate video. Like I might export it in like 480p or something. Have like a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what he does with it.
Yeah. Yeah, my cracked pirated version of Sony Vegas from 10 years ago doesn't work
That's what I was
anymore.
gonna say. I'm like, it's gonna be even better is when you edit it, you need to have like, one of the cheap video editor, watermarks on the middle of the video too.
Free cam.
Yeah, there you go, free cam.
Unregistered free cam.
Yeah, unregistered hyper came too.
It's so funny because I was always like, is that fucking Spider-Man? Who the fuck is that? Like,
Nah, I
you can-
turned
you
my
can, like-
bathtub red.
oh, you can look because you can like barely see it. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Okay, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
As much as it can.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I think also going back to like the tournament like etiquette thing, like for me, this is what Age of Sigmar tournaments are. Is this video? Like, that's the culture you're going into, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like
It's-
going
you're
from
stop. It's already hard enough to not get into Age of Sigmar. You're not making it easier. I have a whole box of rats in the other room that I need to
Oh,
build.
nice.
Hell yeah.
All right, hit me. I have too many. I can hook you up. Dude, I'll like open my closet and look for something and clan rats will fall on my head. It's a fucking problem.
It's crazy. I've seen it happen. It's the fucking weirdest thing. Like he'll go up to go get a base for like a proxy we're doing for we're playing Trench Crusade or testing something. And he'll like run upstairs to go get a base and he'll come back with like 2 clan rat sprues.
Like I found these.
I found more. Like,
Yeah, it's like walking into your parents' room when you're growing up, being like, I threw up. It's like that, except
Clan rat.
it's just a bunch of clan rats.
but yeah, like we do Du Bois every year in Rochester, which is an Age of Sigmar tournament. Got a 40K tournament too. But like, I don't know, man. I spent most of that event drunk. That was
Yeah.
such a good time.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar it's kind of, I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like the frat corner
Yeah, it's
of
frat, yeah.
wargaming. Yeah.
It's very like frat
That's
coded.
hilarious.
It's so funny. Like if you were gonna ever see someone do a keg stand at a wargaming tournament, it would be at an Age of Sigmar tournament where Tough Crowd is 100%.
It's funny because I've never really been interested in Age of Sigmar, but this is actually kind of turning me, like just hearing about this. So
Oh, dude, it's so fun. Like you just gotta, yeah. If you can get to an event where Tough Crowd is, it's always a blast.
This is a good ad for my club. I like it.
Yeah, tell Joe to
Yeah.
send me $20 in the mail. Actually, no, I owe him $20 because I stole like 4 drinks from him at Du Bois.
Tell him you're even.
So who ran that Trench Crusade tournament in Europe?
In
Was it
Europe?
last-
Oh, that was the I
last
believe it was
year,
a
I
Polish crew.
Yeah, it was the Polish
Um,
guy. I cannot remember his name because it's like Polish and has accent marks.
Yeah, it's in italics.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
The name will be in the description.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
Wingdings and Minecraft.
None of us are
Enchantment
going to be able
Wheel.
to pronounce it.
a lot of the event organizers from the Polish scene worked with Tumas to come up with an event packet. And then that was the event in Belgium for was it Spiel? Spiel's in Germany. I don't know. It was a Belgium tournament. But we definitely use that as DNA for ours. Just because it was
Right on.
pretty successful. People had fun. And if you look at the Adepticon pack at the top, we throw a thank you and a credit to them. So the name should be there.
I'm definitely looking forward to next year at Adepticon with the tournament and hopefully the Crimson Chalice painting competition.
Hell yeah. If I was better at painting, I'd love to enter that. I just think
This is my only hope for actually winning is that it's the first year, and I'm hoping that not enough people know that it's even there, and I might have a chance of making it past the first round. That's my only hope.
I'll probably try to submit something just because I'll have it, right? And I'm running
Like,
events
why
all day, so
not?
I'm playing. But
That's basically my buddy that I went with. He wants to do the Golden Demon, and I basically told him, I'm like, look, nothing that I paint is going to get past the first round, but I'll do it just because I'm there. And if you're doing it, I'm going to be going. I'll go through it with you. Might as well. And then, of course, every year when we've gone all 2 years in a row now, the first round when we go through, I'm like, I'm not a very good painter, and I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I'm like, I could do better than some of the stuff in here. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't enter. And then,
Yeah.
I see the actual winners, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not spending 1,000 hours on anything.
that's the thing. I'll never win Golden Demon, but if I enter a piece into Golden Demon, I walk away with the pin, like the qualifier pin. I'm very happy. That's winning.
Yeah, that's already great.
That's what I said. I'm like, if I could just get past the first round, that's all I care about.
Yeah, the pin is cool.
But it's also bragging rights to say, I've entered in Golden Demon or I've entered in the Crimson Chalice before.
Yeah.
Right. Or I won an award, whether it's a participation award, but I won an award.
Yeah, you can say you're an award-winning Golden Demon painter.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
Look,
though
I'm
the
just
award
saying.
is get your shit and get out of here. But
And I will say, for anybody that hasn't ever been, Like I'm sure tons of people that are listening here and that have been in this kind of scene, they've seen the pictures of the winners of the Golden Demon, and they're always phenomenal. But actually being there and seeing them in the case, it is so much more amazing and impressive to actually see it in person than just seeing the pictures of it online. It is so cool to see that level of detail. And a lot of times the I saw at least I think it was the second place guy I saw in the painting area. And I didn't talk to him. I ended up talking to Zumikito was over there talking to one of the guys, and I went over and was chatting with him. But he like later on, I was like, oh, that was a guy that I saw was just hanging out in the painting area.
Yeah, no, Adepticon's super cool like that, where there's just folks around doing stuff. Like Mike, like you said earlier, Mike's just hanging out at the Trench Crusade booth. Like you can just go hang out with him.
Oh yeah, last year,
Like-
not this last year, but the year before, it was hilarious because there was a couple of like, YouTubers that my buddy wanted to meet, and there was one of the like terrain competitions, one of the lesser competitions that was off in an area. I was like, oh, this is cool. We just kind of walked into it. We were walking around, and there was a group of people just talking, and I kind of, my buddy had gone off to go grab a drink or go to the bathroom or something, and I like went over to this group and was just chatting with people because I'm nosy and I'm just chatty. And I went over and started talking to him. And I was like trying to figure out who it was. Cause I'm like, the girl next to me, I'm like, she looks so familiar. I'm like, have I met her before? I'm like, who is this? And my buddy comes back and he's like freaking out. And like right as he comes back, they're like, all right, cool. See you guys later. We gotta go. We got stuff going. And I was like, all right, cool, nice chat with you. And they walk away. And he's like, dude, that was Rogue Hobbies. I'm like, that's where I recognized her from. He's like, that was one of the people I wanted to meet. I was like, oh man, you should have been back later. I was chatting with her for like 15 minutes. I didn't even know who she was.
we were just fucking hanging out. Right?
Yeah, Luis is a good artist. I've watched a bunch of her shows from Warhammer TV.
I think Ryan, you're in one of her videos, right? The Caps one?
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I know Luis. Like that's such a douche thing to do. But I appreciate the plug. But yeah, no, yeah, shouts to Luis. She's cool.
Gotta
Yeah.
name drop it when you can, man.
Nah.
No, I mean, like, even from the other side of it, as a niche internet micro celebrity myself.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. How did
No,
I
I
feel?
like,
Let's say
I was asked by one of the our core team members. It's like, hey, like, there's this like whatever, influencer meet and greet, whatever thing where like people can come and go to 3rd Street Market, which is like the little food court thing near the convention center. Really good food there. And there was a wall of beer, which was great. But it was like, yeah, you go to 3rd Street Market this time, you can meet some like content creators and influencers there. And he's like, yeah, you should go to this thing. It's only Wednesday night. I'm like, do people care about that for me? Like, is that like a thing that like people give a shit about? He's like, I've done it every year, and surprisingly chill and fun people just come up and you hang out with new people for like a few hours. I'm like, bet. All right. And the drinks
Nightmare.
are free. Thick.
new people, terrifying.
Yeah, well, it was funny. Like even I thought it was crazy. Was we'd printed out a bunch of stickers, for Trenchfoot Society, and had the QR code and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be smart. I'm like, when I go buy stuff at the Trench Crusade booth, I'm just gonna leave a stack of our stickers there. I was like, guerrilla marketing, baby. And then, that first day when I got in there, I'm like, man, they've got their own stickers, and I don't want people to get confused and be like, oh, I want to buy this. And they're like, what the hell is this? So I was like trying to think of a better way to do it. And I check out and I turn around to walk away, and I'm like, wait a second. And I'm like, there's a line of like 300 people standing here to buy stuff. So I literally just was like, cool, thanks. Turned around. I was like, hey, how's it going? Trenchfoot Society, give us a listen. Just walk down the line,
Hell
just
yeah.
handing out stickers. And I was surprised. There was a dozen or so people that were in the line that were like, oh, hey, I listened to you guys. And I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Mike I'm one of the hosts on there. And I was like, I didn't even think about it. And there was like one person was like, oh, cool, can I get a picture? I was like, yeah, sweet. Like, posed, and he took a picture. And then as I was walking away, I was like, I do a podcast. Like, they don't know what I look like. Why would you want a picture with me? Like, it was only afterwards where I was like, well, how? Because I was like,
OnlyFans.
yeah. Because I took a picture with Mike Franchina and all that. But that was mainly just to send it back to make Johnny and Eric jealous. But but I was like, I'm like,
That
what? I'm
worked.
like, what are you gonna do with a picture of with me? Like, even if you showed people like, oh, this is Mike from Trenchfoot design. I'm like, A, nobody's gonna know who I am, and B, it could literally be anybody because there's not really pictures of me anywhere.
Dude, the podcast thing is so weird. Like getting recognized for it. 'Cause like we started doing a podcast for GoonHammer, like I mentioned earlier, like early this year, and like I was getting ready for Adepticon, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh, there's a guy who's gonna be there who is gonna hand off some like it was like bags for like neoprene mats, like not the neoprene mats, just the bags for them." He's like, "Yeah, I need to get them from this guy I know from this Discord. Um, can you pick them up for me? Like he'll do a handoff with you." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Just tell him to come to the Trench Crusade room at whatever time, and I'll grab him." And he starts DMing me just to like get my info to know who I am, so he knows who he's giving the mats to. And we wrap up the conversation, and he's like, "Wait, are you Norman from GoonHammer?" I'm like, "Yeah, like that's probably right." He's like, "Oh, I'm listening to you right now while I pack." I'm like, "That's the most fucked up thing you could have said right now." I didn't think anyone
Wow.
listened to that fucking.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I thought it was just the editor. To be honest.
Speaking of that tournament, I still want my damn token.
Dude, people stole a bunch. I gotta see if I have left over. Sure, I do, but I'm happy to mail them out if I can find more, or I could
That
just
was
make more.
that was the biggest reason Johnny was mad at me. Was just like, oh, did you go see the Barbed Wire Brawl? I'm like, bro, I'm like, you don't understand how Adepticon works. I'm like, there is a million things going on right now, and I'm like,
What the fuck do I pay you for?
you don't pay me a damn thing. But I was just like, I had a class I had to go to, and he's like, what class did I'm like, I had a very expensive class on painting African skin tones that I paid like $30 for because my buddy and I were late to the to register, and there wasn't very many classes left. And I was like, I actually want to go to this one. And even worse, we both signed up for it, and there was only 2 of them, and we both signed up for the 2 separate ones. So we didn't even do the class together.
Oh, fucking brutal.
Yeah, it was only the day of because I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, we got to go check out this brawl thing, but like I got this class. He's like, no, he's like, the class is tomorrow. I'm like, no, it's today. He's like, no, it's tomorrow morning. and, and we were like, ah, damn it.
Yeah, I think I know for me and Ryan, I think also our biggest regrets were just we didn't get to do anything. We didn't get to see anything. We were like scrambling with some logistics issues that came up last minute. And I didn't go to the show floor except for like that one time to talk to the StarCraft folks.
Wow, really?
I don't know. I mean, I got to see more of Adepticon this time than any of the 3 other times that I went, and I just played 11 games of AOS the whole
Yeah,
time.
you're like a miserable psychopath.
Yeah, definitely. A fair assessment.
Yeah, well, that's a lot. Like I said, even then, like the only reason that I got to see and do as much as I did was because we were there every morning, at 8 a.m. and we usually weren't leaving until 10 midnight.
Right.
We were running out. It was hilarious because one of the younger guys that I was actually running the games with, Wyatt, we've talked about him a couple times. He played a bunch of games with me out there, and I was joking one night because we were like finishing a game, and it's like I was like, well, it's like 1 a.m, and I know we're finishing up, but like my buddy has this class tomorrow because the class that we didn't get at the right time. I'm like, he's doing the class tomorrow morning at 9. So I'm like, if you want to meet back up here tomorrow at like 8:30 or so, I'm like, he's gonna go do that class, and I'll be here, playing for a little bit. And then when he gets out of his class, we're gonna go get lunch and go do some other shit. I was like, so I'm like, I know it's like 1:30 in the morning right now, but like if you want to get up and meet me here at 8, I'm like, we'll do that. And then the next day, I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, I'm almost 40 and I'm here. I'm like, where are you at?
Dude, it's crazy. I love
Yeah.
Adepticon. It's such a
Oh,
fun
yeah,
event.
I love it to death. But it was probably my best choice this year was that I took off 3 days after Adepticon from work because it took me at least a day and a half to recover when I got home.
I'm
Ugh.
still not recovered.
Yeah, neither am I, honestly. That's so much shit to do. I guess that's the thing is like it's a little different, right? When you're working it
Yeah, I was gonna say because you guys were
Yeah.
running. I mean, I was kind of gonna go to work for do some TFS stuff, but I was like, look, guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is way too much fun. I'm gonna do this because like I was gonna take a camera and take some B-roll, and I'm like, because I got to edit it. I'm like, no, we'll do an episode on Sunday night, and then I'll edit it on the way home.
No, absolutely, and that's the way to do it. Like, I got in early to try to enjoy Adepticon, like before our event, and like I said, those logistical issues popped up, and just like it was just make sure everything's ready for the tournament. Like, are the layouts good? Is everything like set? Does everyone have the terrain they need? Is everything painted to the right like standard? And even then, like we there's a lot we need to improve. But like I think someone said it to Ryan. If this is the worst competitive Trench Crusade event in the US, it's a pretty damn good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that was the other good
Good to
thing you
hear.
had going because it was like it's the first one and everybody's gonna be having a blast. And if anything, everybody's gonna just be like, it's the first one. They'll work the kinks out.
Exactly.
So what like for people like us who might want to run local events, what like advice could you give, or what did people like? What did they respond to, and like what worked and what didn't?
Ryan, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so I mean people liked well, people were surprised at liking the layout, honestly. Like we had someone come in that was actually a ringer. And we asked him for feedback after the game that he played, and he was like, "Yeah, well, when I rolled up to the table, it looked pretty boring. And then I actually had a blast the whole time, like interacting with the layout. And that it felt balanced and everything. Um, but yeah, and I totally forget the question that you asked me. I'm gonna be honest.
What did
Like,
people
It
like?
was the
Yeah, what did people like?
Yeah, people liked the layout. People liked the scenarios. I think something between like a dichotomy between like a narrative scenario and I guess a one-off or organized play or competitive scenario, whatever you
So
want to call it, are
real
the
quick by
custom
the
rules.
scenarios. Did
Yeah.
you use any of the official, or were they all kind of like custom?
They're all custom.
They were all
Yeah.
custom, yes.
We worked really hard to write like because the thing that I don't want to say issue because like the campaign scenarios are good. But the thing that doesn't quite work, I think, in competitive context is like they all assume they're part of an ongoing like game with knock-on effects. Like Glorious Deeds have a lot heavier weight in a campaign
Yeah,
game than they do in a
yeah.
one-off game, right? So like they're just balanced differently. And we wanted to make sure that the rules would not get in the way of the play, right? We can't have players sit there and talk about how do I control the dragon for 1 hour of their 2-hour round, right?
Yeah.
So it was about making that concise, but while keeping it in the spirit of what Trench Crusade's about and what it's trying to do. But yeah, sorry, Ryan, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. Like I mean we put it in one of our dev diaries or multiple. I don't usually reread what I write because it's already hard enough. And that we were pretty safe for the most part, I would say with the scenarios, but it did give the players a lot of room for just being able to get to the table, set up the objectives or whatever, explain their lists to each other, and get playing really quickly. Where like what Norman just said, I would call it homework, um, of how do I do these 5 different additional narrative mechanics that are a part of this one game I'm gonna play, and then probably not play again until the next event. So I think players that signed up for the event knew what they were signing up for, which was cool. We weren't just the plan B for people that couldn't make the narrative, which
Mhm.
helped my soft and fragile ego a little bit.
See, honestly, that I looked at it the other way. I felt the narrative was kind of the plan B if you couldn't get into the other one. Because I didn't do the narrative. I was in the room when it started though, and there was a bunch of people that showed up there that were actually pretty pissed because they signed up for it, but it got way too full, way too quick.
Oh yeah, I mean like the narrative is always the marquee event. I think it always will be at Adepticon because, like, I mean, it's a narrative game, right? That's definitely where the reason why Factory Fortress asked us to do these things, like do the competitive stuff, is because they don't want to. Like,
Yeah, they didn't want to.
uh, yeah, and like not in the sense that like they think it's a bad idea or they think it's bad, but in the sense that just like that's not the type of players that they are, and it's not what they're passionate about. And we
Well,
are,
it's one of the
right?
things that we talk about a lot is that Trench Crusade is a great game. It's tons of fun. It's real easy to learn, but it really does shine in narrative campaign mode. You know, where you're
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's I've done tons of one-off games and they're tons of fun, but it definitely is built to be more, all right, this game is going to let me get this other thing and I need to get this much out of it so that I can get the next guy that I want, or get the next gun or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, and I think what we're trying to do is kind of appeal to both sides because like the in between game homework for me is just like it's more of a chore. Like I love the system, I love the game. I would much rather spend an hour thinking about the most optimal way to do a pile in than figure out what happened to little Timmy after his arm blew off or whatever happened. So but I mean, I think it's great. Like I've done 40K narratives, I've done GHO, and it's fun to be like, no, I want to bring all of my jetpack Blood Angels guys because I think they're cool. Um, and I'm gonna deep strike everyone and roll casino dice and hope to roll nines, and that's gonna be my narrative, I guess. Where I'll go to an AOS game and I'll have 140 rats, and I'm trying to get to the edge of a combat range to be able to tie up a unit to do like 17 different things. I've got like a TI-84 out and I'm trying to do the Pythagorean theorem and stuff like that. 'Cause that's fun to me. And I realize that's freak shit for some people, but
No, see, this is perfect because this is where you and I get along because one of my lists that I really want to try, huge list of 120 Hormagaunts, 120 Termagants, and 40 Gargoyles, because and one whatever the leader winged prime thing is, because it's like right on 2,000 points. But I'm like, I guarantee you it would win because my opponent will just forfeit by round 2. My movement of round 2, they'll just be like, I don't care, you win.
you'll herniate a disc or something, like moving around all of that shit.
One of us is gonna die either way.
Well, you're back
Yeah.
out.
I have seen Ryan after an event running Skaven where he looks like he just like was teleported out of hell. Like he looks just 1,000-yard stare, sitting down, looking into the middle distance.
Like I
Because he
flew
just
back from
spent
Fallujah.
yeah, like he just spent 3 hours moving 120 clan rats and rolling 60 dice per rattling gun.
Oh
Yeah,
my
to
god.
win by 2 after
Win by
3
2.
hours.
Almost
Yeah,
sounds
doing
like
8
an orc
games.
player.
It's brutal, dude. It's so
Yeah,
fucking brutal.
But yeah, I mean, there's going back to the Trench Crusade and whatever we were talking about, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's just, two ways to go about it,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure. I think like to speak on like advice for folks trying to run events, if you're
Yeah,
trying to
save
run
me, thank you.
uh to try to run like a competitive event, my biggest piece of advice is, the most important thing is the vibe if you're doing a competitive event. People need to know they're not coming in um people shouldn't be coming in trying to necessarily everyone's trying to win. People should be coming in trying to play 3 games of Trench Crusade and do the best they can, right?
That sounds like
Um
so much
I
more
like
of a
that.
fun way to go into that.
yeah,
Yeah, good
that's the
job.
It's a
mindset.
nice way of saying don't be a dick.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
that, but it's
I
also
mean,
like
pretty
it's not
much.
even just don't be a dick, right? Because like I know so many people who go to an RTT and like they're nice guys, but it's like, oh, I lost my first game, I'm not in the running anymore, I don't really care about this. It's like, well, no, the reason I'm here is to hang out and play 3. I know I will play 3 games. I know the games will be of good quality because like the terrain is good and people put a lot of work into making sure these games are going to be good quality. I have a rules resource I can just call over. I don't have to look shit up, right? Um,
That's one of the
uh,
reasons one of our local guys plays a lot of Trench Crusade on Tabletop Sim,
mhm.
and I just like I never want to try that because he's like, yeah, it's kind of bad. He's like, one in 3 games actually makes it to the end. I'm like, what do you mean 1 in 3 games? He's like, a lot of times, you'll get through the first turn, and if the other guy is blatantly losing, they'll just rage quit and leave. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, people can't really do that in real life. Like, even
Yeah.
if they do, it's like a story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I think like that's the most important thing for me when you're doing a competitive event is the vibe. And then if you're like the organizer, I think terrain in Trench Crusade is the most important, is the easiest thing to fuck up. I think it's really easy to make a table that looks cool that isn't playable to a competitive standard.
Interesting.
That's why we have the layout in the pack. People don't have to use it, but it is a like good guide. Um,
Hang on.
you want to make sure.
Can you say that
Sorry, go
again a little bit louder so Johnny can hear that?
No, I mean it's a good guide, right?
It hurts
It's
your
nothing
mouth
more.
now.
But the important thing, if you're making just like your own layouts, you're making your own terrain, the most important thing is there should not be sight lines from one side of the board to the other. And if there are those kinds of sight lines, they should be difficult to get to. And the other player should be rewarded for shutting those down. So like to get like super in the weeds, on our layout, on the sides, we have in each next to each deployment zone, there is a big tower. There's a 5-inch tall tower. There's ladder is on the front. You can't get to it. You have to like move and dash from your deployment zone to get there, unless you move 8 to get up the ladder. And then you have a really commanding sniper position of like your corridor of the map. Or you could climb. The climb is obviously risky, or you brought climbing gear and you like teched for it, right? And then you can get up there. You have a really commanding position of the battlefield. The run to get to that position to try to assault it for the other player, there's a good amount of cover that they can go from cover to cover to. You need to make some dash rolls to get there, so it's a little risky to assault it head on. But if you get there, the ladder is in the front, so there's no climb check involved to assault the position on top. And then like, you create an interesting gameplay scenario, right? The terrain is the set dressing that lets you play the game. And you just got to make sure, like, you want a lot of verticality. The number one thing we learned with our feedback in our initial pass on the terrain is that Trench Crusade does not feel like Trench Crusade without dangerous terrain and without verticality. Those are the two things players always look for and players really want.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest ones. I've just kind of recently delved into doing terrain making, and I've been focusing very heavily on the Eons of Battle, Catacombs of the Blessed Dead. I backed that, and I've been making some catacomb boards, and I have entirely too much time invested into a mock-up of it in Fusion 360, where I have all the pieces built in 3D so that I can sit there and map these out to try to do exactly what you're talking about. Is I want verticality. I'm like, I need line of sight blocking, but at the same time, I want some shooting corridors, so that it's not just completely in my favor as the Black Rail player. And I also want it so that it's not just complete killing fields where, if you don't have, a 14-inch movement, you're kind of boned. So trying to make that even balance and make a terrain is much harder than I originally,
It's
stuck it out to be.
It's definitely the biggest challenge we took upon ourselves when we said we wanted to do layouts. Was trying to make this thing work for everyone. Every faction's having fun. Like you're letting every mechanic shine. It's hard. It's level design, right? Like there are people who do this full time. Like and they make more money than I do.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is cool with the Catacombs one is if you are running demos and you want to run a tiny board, was because I built mine in 2-foot by 2-foot sections so that I could eventually make 4 of them and put them together, and so that they're not 80 pounds each, so I can actually transport them. But a 2-foot by 2-foot catacomb board actually works pretty well for just that one as a 700 ducat game.
Yeah,
because you need enough movement where, it blocks you enough that you can't like get to one side and back across the whole game. But at the same time, it's not like turn 1, you're going to be in the other player's deployment.
It very much reminds me of like a Necromunda Zone Mortalis board.
Yeah, except with more verticality.
For sure. No, it makes sense. Like that's another important thing, right, that you brought up is like movement, right? pieces in the game will move 6 inches, and they can move 12 if they dash. And if they move every turn, and like they have to get around terrain or whatever, and you put the objectives in such a place that it's like, you know, let's say 35 inches of like linear movement to get there, they're not going to get to the objective until turn 3, right? Is that what you want? Is that what you're looking for? Is that good? Is that bad? Do you want to create faster ways to get there that are more risky? Like, there's a whole, it's a super complicated topic. And is a developed skill as well. Like, you just got to keep making tables. That's how you make better tables. But yeah, like number one with the bullet is just make sure your terrain's good, because it's the thing that like will cause players to lose games before they start playing.
Yeah, that and again, just because that's been one thing for me, especially in our looking back at our last campaign, there was a couple because that was early on, and we didn't have nearly as much terrain back then as we do now, and there was a couple times when we played, and like as soon as we started, I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I have guys that are like 5 inches tall, and the tallest thing on this board is me. I'm like, I physically cannot hide.
Yeah. I mean, that was my last round at Adepticon, the narrative. I was playing Great Hunger, so I had the Hag, and I had a Lord of Tumors, and I had a whole bunch of shit. And the board I was playing into St. Methodist shooting, with like 3 punt guns on the table, and it was flat. It was a desert with a big submarine in the middle that was about
you
4
were on
inches
that
tall.
one. Oh man,
Yeah, that was my last round.
it was such a cool board though.
That's the thing, is it's a beautiful table, and clearly like a lot of craftsmanship went into it, and it like has a really great like grasp of texture and tones, and it's beautiful, and it tells a story right within the context of the narrative. But like playability wise,
Not so much. Yeah, there
No.
were definitely a few, because I didn't play in it, but I was there in the room and I was taking pictures of it, mostly sending it all back to Johnny to be like, "Here's some ideas, bro." And there was a couple of them where I was like, "Man, this looks so cool," but like that one, I was like, "A, why is there a submarine that has somehow surfaced in the desert?" And like B, why there? How are you doing anything? There's not even like scatter terrain to hide behind. Like you're just everybody run that way, and whoever makes it, good luck.
Yeah, it was tough. And I mean, that was Dragon Hunt also, which was difficult. Because I'm a
coulda
melee
used some
army
more-
and he's a shooting army.
That board definitely could have used some more line of sight blocking buildings.
Yeah,
100%.
or anything, because it
Maybe
was
like
literally
a big L-shaped ruin, I think would be good. No, I mean, like, again, I don't want to knock it, because it clearly a lot of work went into it, and it's a beautiful table, and like it's cool. I think like if you're playing like Naval Raiders into Trench Pilgrims, like you can have a pretty normal game there, because there's a lot of rocks and stuff to hide behind, whatever, right?
as
It's
long
just
as
'cause
you
that's
could
playing
at
with
least
tall
technically
models.
get cover, then it would at least be
Right.
something.
Yeah, and it's okay to have in a narrative situation, right, where it's like, no, like we shouldn't send the melee army to the barren flat desert. We should send a shooting army there, right? Like that's like in terms of just deployment, like that makes sense. So you can get away with that kind of thing in narrative sometimes. Um, but yeah, like I think that's the thing for competitive play. And then if you're doing a narrative event, my biggest thing is if your players have time between rounds to do the stuff they need to do and also unwind, right? Like you need to decompress from game to game. If you don't give players that time, and like they will take about twice as long as you think they'll take every time to do any action. So like for a narrative, I would say like half an hour between normal rounds, like an hour and a half for lunch, something like that. That's important. And the other thing is, ironically, make sure your scenarios are good. Make sure whatever story you're trying to tell isn't at the cost of players' enjoyment. Where like, and it sounds, I think, really critical to say, and I think it sounds a little like haughty to say, but at the same time, I think it's really easy to get carried away with good ideas and have them eclipse the game that we're playing, right? Where you end up just like doing something completely different. And it's really important to find that balance between the two of like the personality you want to inject into your narrative that you're trying to tell with the players in front of you, while also making sure they're playing Trench Crusade. I think Sammy's campaign she ran at Nova last year, Malian Scouring, you can find that on itch.io. It's a fantastic pack. It's got a lot of really cool rules in it. It's got really good scenarios for like a weekender setting as opposed to like a long-term campaign. Highly recommend doing that. We wrote a review on that 3 months ago.
Oh, longer than that. I thought that was last year.
Dude, I
Oh, no,
thought
it
last
happened
year
in-
was 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's gonna say
That's pretty bad.
time gets away from you sometimes.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, I highly recommend her per packet for that. If she releases Blood in the Water, I recommend it as well. She put a ton of work into making it feel like Trench Crusade, but more. It was like an expansion. And Factory Fortress also I think chipped in a little bit on Blood in the Water because she was an employee. She wasn't an employee when she started writing it, and she was an employee when she finished writing it. So there's some interesting stuff in there as well. So if that ever gets released, highly recommend checking that out.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, don't hold me to it, but I believe they said they were going to release that eventually.
Yeah, I think she has a plan for it. I don't know if she's going to adapt it. I don't know what she's doing with it. But I think they want to. I think there's just some like weirdness with like who owns it now, right?
Yeah, that might be part of it.
Yeah, and I don't think like anyone's trying to like fuck anyone over, nothing like that.
Yeah, I
It's
think
just,
it's
like,
more of they're just trying to make it clear of who gets it because Factory Fortress backed it and they paid for a lot of the stuff. And if there's any kind
Exactly.
of monetary thing, yeah,
It gets weird.
I can
And then,
see how
like-
that could cause issues.
And then if they do release it, it has to be the same quality standard as everything else, right? Like,
Yeah,
it has to be
because-
formatted, it has to use the right fonts, it has to use whatever, right? Like,
Yep.
there's a whole lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I was gonna say polish, but same thing.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of like red tape you got to get through, right? But yeah, I think that those are my big things for events. Like, but it's always that vibe thing is just number one. Like, people are there to have a good time. Make sure that happens.
Yeah, I definitely think that's got to be the biggest thing, like you said, because as fun as it is to win, if nobody's if only the one guy that wins has fun, then not very good.
Exactly.
Well, dang, I know we've had you guys forever. I don't want to keep you too terribly long. Is there anything else that you guys want to plug? I know with some of the stuff going on, you might have some new links or anything. We'll definitely keep those down below. But anything you guys want to shout out?
Yeah, we do. So we put out Trench Crusade articles every week over on Tabletop Battles. Every Friday is a new Trench Crusade article. It's usually be a faction focus or review of what just came out, whatever. But occasionally, Ryan and I will write up a dev diary for the organized play work we've been doing. You can check out all the stuff we're thinking about, all the mistakes we're making, and how we're trying to fix those mistakes, and
Or just how we're trying to ruin Trench Crusade and make sure everyone has a good time ever.
that is the
How you can
majority
introduce
of the
rats
feedback
into
we
it
got.
somehow.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started.
That's for the after show. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But in addition, like if you have any feedback, like the Adepticon pack exists right now in such a way that you can go and play it, check it out, see what's up, see what you enjoy, see what you don't enjoy. You can email us over at compcrusade@GoonHammer.com. That domain might change. It'll be in the description. You can email us over there, tell us, give us any feedback you want. We read every single email that comes through there.
Yeah, Norman reads every single email out to me out loud.
Hey, he likes to help those illiterate. That's okay.
It's
Yeah, I
it's
sit
my
there with my
passion
thumb in my
life.
mouth. Oh, that's a good deal.
But yeah, I think that's everything for me. What about you, Ryan?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. I'm not, as big of an internet micro celebrity like you are, so
Niche internet micro celebrity. You gotta get the full title.
whatever.
Yeah, we'll definitely make sure to have all that in the description, as including this wonderful video of you eating an egg. Uh,
Oh, there's a bit more too.
yeah, they're
There's
yeah.
a whole amazing, like really well written, and I don't know why I sound surprised. Ryan's very talented, but like
Ew, don't
it's
gas
very
me up.
well
I'll get weird
written,
about it.
and like well performed rap song in there that he just did all of for the sake of a bit. Like that's not for nothing.
I
One of the
love
reasons I think
going that hard for it.
that's the thing. I think that's one of the reasons Jamie picked us up in the first place. It's like, oh, these guys are willing to do stupid shit
Oh,
for like
these guys are mentally ill. We
He's
need
like,
them on
these
the
guys
team
are great.
immediately.
these guys have harnessable mental illness.
I was gonna say, you saw how he acted with Mike Franchina. He's like, I know how to tap into this.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The funniest thing was Nova when someone asked about like a book, like a Trench Crusade book, if that was coming. And Tumas was like, oh well, you know, and then Jamie was like, Tumas, I need you to stop, and if you don't shut up, I'm gonna kill you.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Trenchfoot Society podcast. Huge thanks to our sponsors, spraygunner.com. Make sure you use our affiliate link and code TFS5 off SG at checkout to save a little on your hobby supplies. If you want to reach out, send us your questions, confessions, and grievances to trenchfootsocietypodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing what's going on in your trenches. And if you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/trenchfoot, or head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/trenchfootsocietypodcast, where you can become a member and get access to the after show. Shout out to our latest supporters, Alexander F., Sven H., and Christian. We appreciate you keeping the signal strong. We've also got some events coming up, so if you're looking to get games in, check out O Gilded Cypress, a 2-day narrative event May 9th and 10th at Huzza Hobbies in Ashburn, Virginia. There's a monthly meetup over at Schmolly's Gaming Cave in Crown Point, Indiana. Last in the year, you've got Spiel Essen in Germany, October 22nd through the 25th, and the Oklahoma Open, November 14th and 15th. And the Infernum in Terra, a Trench Crusade tournament, October 31st at Das Haus Rhein in Germany. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Trenchfoot_pod to stay up to date with everything we've got going on. Until next time, keep your powder dry, your dice honest, your faith unshaken, and the podcast signal strong. The signal fades, but the war never does.